All right, and we are live. Back with another show. We missed last week. It was my fault. I apologize, but we are back. And we got the crew with us. We got Cross. What's going on?
Hello.
We got the Immortal Afro. What's going on with
So not much, man. Just got off work and clocked into work.
you? Yeah, man. I appreciate you coming through. But I always like to kind of start off the show with a question. What is everybody playing?
Ain't playing too much, more like watching.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, me and Cross watched the first two movies of the Lord of the Rings franchise, the Fellowship of the Ring and the Two Towers.
Okay. So what are your overall impressions of the two movies right now?
Both of them are really good. They're fantastic. It's peak cinema with the be liking the first one over the second one just a little bit because I was talking to one of my coworkers today because they seen it. They're like, "Oh, glad you finally got around to watching it." And I was telling them about a certain character in the second one. And I was just like, "Yeah, man, that character fucking sucks." And he's like, "Yeah, I forgot about that character, and you will too."
Good. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty tight. That's a beautiful movie.
Okay.
Very beautiful.
So I'm glad to see you getting into some of the good cinema that's out there. Um,
Yeah.
there's some movies I need to watch this out right now. I need to go and watch Sinners, and I need to watch the new Thunderbolts movie. And once I watch them, I think I'm gonna go ahead and do reviews for those, kind of like what I did with the last Captain America movie. So definitely
Yeah.
want to watch those. But what about you, Cross?
Same. I haven't really been playing anything different rather than VF. And
Yeah,
yeah, I watched the Lord of the Ring movies because I always kind of wanted to because I mean, I'd seen bits and pieces of them when I was like a kid.
yeah,
Uh, but I never watched any of them all the way through. And so, I love like that. What do you call it? That genre of type of stuff, like that, like the Middle Ages, like fantasy setting. I love that shit. And
yeah,
so, but I had never seen Lord of the Rings, and yeah, it was awesome. Like the
yeah,
first movie, in my opinion, is like perfect. Like I can't find anything wrong with it, and I noticed from the music, the characters, like all that stuff, like a lot of video games and stuff that I like, they were inspired by Lord of the Rings.
yeah,
Like I didn't really know,
yeah,
like the music when the orcs are marching, that sounds just like the Darkspawn music in Dragon
yeah,
Age Origins. Like just like it. It's like,
yeah,
wow, I did not know that. Even the concept in Dragon Age Origins, like the general story of what they need to do, I'm like, yeah,
mhm,
that's Lord of the Rings. Like
yeah,
that's very similar to Lord of the Rings. And it's like, wow, I did
yeah,
not know how much they, of course it ain't like an exact copy, and they did develop their own original ideas and stuff too. Like but it felt like they were building on top of what Lord of the Rings was missing. Like what wasn't there, they developed further in Dragon Age Origins. And I'm like,
yeah.
wow, that's crazy. Like, so it's pretty cool. Um,
Yeah, usually like a lot of things that happen in pop culture have like a lot of effects on different gaming and even other movies in itself. So yeah, even with Elden Ring, isn't like Elden Ring written by somebody that has to do with Lord of the Rings?
No, that's George R. R. Martin.
Okay.
Tolkien is the Lord of the Rings guy.
Oh, okay, okay. So what did Tolkien do? What did he do? He did
He did
So
The
he
Hobbit and Lord of the Rings.
Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. So who wrote for Elden Ring?
That was
J.R.R. Martin. I think his name George R.R. Martin.
yeah.
But he didn't like write for it. He just kind of like gave ideas
Consult.
and premises.
Yeah. He just did like
Okay.
consultation essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, me, I've been playing, of course, Trails in the Sky, and bro, I'm like on level like 14, 15, and I done put in like 34 hours.
Yeah.
I put like 34 hours, man. And that story is like really well written. I wasn't really expecting it to be real well written as it is, but man, they take so much time and they take so much care into all the characters, and I was surprised. Like, there's a lot of character development, a lot of twists, a lot of turns, and like you sometimes you just don't know what's going to happen next. You know, it's kind of hard to predict, and I really appreciate when they have stories like that that kind of, you know, take its time, because like a lot of RPGs, they just rush, point A to B to C, to D. But in this game, all of the NPCs have different dialogue and things that like happen depending on what's going on in the story. Kind of like Ease, uh, which is, I think, cross the developers of Ease made Trails in the Sky, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Same company, same
So
development team.
yeah, so they kind of got the same kind of vibe where the world feels alive, and I'm digging it.
Yeah,
Really
that's
digging
one
it.
thing Falcom is really good at with. Well, I can't speak for the Trails games because I haven't played them, but like almost every Ease game feels like that. Like, where it's like the NPCs do a lot of heavy lifting that you would not think they would. Some guy named Tom, I just make bread, and you're like, okay, he's just some generic ass
Yeah,
NPC, and it's like, no, Tom is going to be someone important later on, and you're not gonna expect it, like.
yeah,
So it's really, and they're important in little small ways, like, oh, I was out here picking wheat and I noticed that there was a guy over there. He been looking at us. And then he be the dude that sounded the alarm that saved the city from getting attacked.
yeah.
And then he get killed and you feel bad for him.
Like,
You're
damn.
like, damn, Tom, man.
Yep,
Damn.
yep. And like, the NPCs, they be also be having like little secrets to little things that you can find that you might need later on.
Yes.
Uh,
That's
and like different hints. And I kind of love that.
yeah. That shit's good
It's
too. Like,
yeah, it's like, damn, I don't know where to go. I don't know what's happening. You just talk to the NPCs and they were like, okay, well, here's what you need to do, buddy.
yeah, go over here, do this, blah blah blah. It's like the NPCs are actually helpful.
Yeah.
Like,
No. I will
But
say a game I should be playing, but I have to play once we finish this movie is Clear Obscure.
you know what? I was just about to ask about that. Because that's the new hotness right now, right? That's the new hotness game that's out that everybody's
Yeah,
playing, and
excited for and
yeah,
celebrate.
I'm gonna be honest. I kind of want to play it too. I saw that you have it, so I was thinking. I was like, man, I'm gonna play it. I've been meaning to play it, but man, VF is so fucking good that it's
yeah,
like I'm always thinking about it. Like, I'm watching top players. I'm like, oh my god, this is a technique I could be using.
uh-oh.
You know, so
Yeah,
it's like I'll find myself playing matches and then be 1 a.m. and I'm like, fuck, I guess I'll try it tomorrow, dude.
yeah,
You know.
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
yeah.
Rather want to play it.
Yeah, that's how I'm feeling about Grand Blue as well. Like, the game has been stealing a lot of my time too. Sometimes I just fall asleep playing that shit too.
Damn.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah. I'm just kind of waiting for this Lord of the Rings thing to be over. so I can put my time into it because like I don't want any distractions when I play that game.
Man, you a Marvel Rivals player, man. You ain't playing no Grand Blue.
Well, not Grand. I'm talking about Clear Obscure.
Oh, I thought you talking about Grand Blue.
No, that's why I've been
Well,
playing.
even with that game, you still a Marvel Rivals player. That game is taking over your soul, boy.
Yeah, but mainly because like been watching the movies. I'm like, well, now that I'm like knee deep in these movies, I'm just gonna play whatever until we finish the trilogy, so I can put my time into that. Because I played it for like 2 hours, and yeah, man, that shit got me in the first 2 hours. I'm like, dang,
it looked cold.
Right.
It looked like so.
Yeah.
What got me is people are saying that it has like a timing system, like Legend of Dragoon.
Yeah, you can parry or dodge.
Yeah, and I haven't seen like that type of system in a long time, to where you can do that type of stuff. So I might have to pick it up later on down the line.
Yeah, it's very interactive. Like to me, it's like you know, it's like the proper evolution of the JRPG formula. It's like everything is there, and it's just like slowly changing in a way that's good and keeps you focused instead of just like all right, wait my turn, attack, and it's a roll of the dice whether he hits me or misses or critical. So now you get to control that. It's like the little bit of fighting game. Because I was talking to one of my coworkers about it. He was like, "Yeah, man, it's hard. I've been trying to dodge it. You hitting me." I'm like, "Yeah, it's because you're sorry. You got to actually pay attention to the animation, and because it ain't hard. It's just of course, if you're not used to that type of stuff, it's gonna catch you off guard. But since we like fighting games, that shit right up our alley. So
yeah, it's definitely like a really, really beautiful game as far as what I've seen, and like it's really like shitting on a lot of games because man, gaming has been so jacked up like for the last couple of years, and just to see a game come out to where everybody likes it, is doing everything well, it's almost like unheard of. It's like rare in this day and age almost.
Well, it's not rare when it's from an independent developer.
Yeah, that's the thing because it seems like that. That's what I was talking to Sykes about a while back. It's like, yeah, you think gaming has just been like hell if all you pay attention to is the AAA market, but if you actually like just fucking look for games you care about that don't have all the hype and the blah blah bloopity bleep, then you could actually find a lot of fun games. It's like, yeah, gaming never fucking fell apart. You just got distracted.
Yeah.
Well, it's like mainstream gaming fell apart, but gaming as a whole, no. It's like there are a lot of you just have to. I think the thing is that people got comfortable with the mainstream curating content for them because it was good. And so, but then like people, it's very difficult for people to break out of that and to go back to trying to find what they like, because that's how it was in the early days, like before the mainstream really got established. Like, when I was a kid, like, maybe during like the fourth generation, fifth generation, when PlayStation was around, like you had magazines and stuff, but you had so many magazines and there were so many different games that you didn't really have any clear direction on exactly what to buy and where to go. Even things that were big, like Pokemon, were still up in the air of whether you should get it or not. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like, oh, well, because Pokemon's big, you are going to play it. You still had to ask people, like, do you play Pokemon? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't just assumed, like, okay, they definitely play Pokemon. Like, no, that wasn't true, even though Pokemon was huge. Like, so
yeah, you're right. I agree with you guys on that one. Yeah, like it's like you have to find the developer that's up and coming, or you know, don't have any ties to like the big wigs. They're kind of doing their own thing, and they can make their own choices as far as how they want the game to be.
Right,
But
exactly.
but that's amazing. This game looks so amazing, bro. So amazing. Now I will say, another game, even though it's by a bigger company, that I kind of want to play is the new Elden Ring game. It's like a co-op. It kind of reminds me of Raven's Watch, where it's like a roguelike where you get like different classes and then you have to prepare before nightfall, which is called why it's called Night Rain, and then you go and fight whatever boss that's out there. And I wonder if I could find that trailer, but that junk looks dope. And it's kind of why I really haven't played Elden Ring yet because I kind of want like a co-op game that's like different, like Gauntlet Legends used to be.
Mhm.
But I think that might be my next big game that I get.
Okay.
Now, have you guys seen Elden Ring Night Rain?
I mean,
Uh,
I saw the
yeah.
trailer for it, but I'm not really interested in games like that, so I
Mm-hmm.
didn't really pay attention to it.
Yeah, like I like Dark Souls 3. I have Elden Ring, but it's one of those games like I play whenever I get around to it.
Yeah.
Because the concept of Dark Souls going open world was a little mixed for me. I don't really, I'm not really, I don't really care for it. But I still play it, because it's a good studio. I like From Software; they make good
Yeah.
stuff. So I support it, and I
Yeah.
just play it whenever I get around to it.
Yeah. I don't think I'm gonna play the original Elden Ring, but I do want to play this.
So
Like I
is this like
said,
a game in itself, or is it like
I
DLC?
I believe this is a game in itself
Mm,
because like I said, it's kind of like Raven's Watch, where you know how you pick your class, right? And
yeah.
then you have a certain amount of time to prepare before a boss just descends on you in the area. That's kind of how this game works, like a roguelike.
Oh, okay.
Um, which is really dope. And it seems like it's really different than what the original Elden Ring was. It seems like they allow you to do more things in the fields, especially with the different like type of classes.
Mhm.
So you can choose between the archer, the magician, the swordsman, and other classes, and you can kind of something I wish they would kind of really buckle down in Ravens Watch, but you can kind of mix magic and moves and things like that with your partners. But it looks so dope, dude.
Okay, I'll look at. It just seems like co-op Souls, and I feel like that's because
It
modders kept doing it. So they're like, "Fine, fuck it, we'll actually make a game so you guys can stop asking for it and doing it yourself."
yeah, like it kind of is, but it feels like if you watch the breakdown trailer, it like tells you the story of how everything works in the game. Um, I would play it now, but we need to move on to some more things. But uh,
I'll check
I
it out.
definitely, yeah, I definitely love it, especially all the classes too. Uh, but let's remove this really quick. So, I was watching a recent interview with Obama and Juyuna. And for those who don't know, Obama and Juyuna, they were American fight game players and commentators who moved over to Japan. And when they moved over to Japan, they created a local called Tatakai. I think it's Tatakai Tuesdays. Well, first it was fighting Tuesdays, and they changed it to Tatakai Tuesdays, which I think Tatakai fighting in
It's the
Japanese. Same
thing.
thing, right? So, but I was listening to their interview, and I found it really, really interesting. Some of the things they were saying, and I kind of want to play it for you guys to kind of get your brains churning, and so we can kind of talk on this subject. But let me quit yapping, and I will play some of this for you guys. So, and I kind of want to get your thoughts on this video.
Okay.
Let's see. Can you guys hear?
Nope.
No. Okay. We'll have to see what is going on with that.
I remember we had this problem before, right? Like you can't.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that.
Yeah, let me see if I can pull it up. I remember it working for me for some reason.
Yeah. And that is crazy. I don't know why it's.
What's the timestamp?
It is, I believe, 10:21, 20, something like that.
Oh, precinct.
Okay. I got to figure out what's going on with that.
Yeah. All right.
15 has its strong points, I think.
Yeah, I hear it.
Yeah, can you, well, actually, let me see if I can turn you up a little bit.
Lesson learned from Tatakai Tuesday that could.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you can good. Yeah, I can hear it.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and play it.
Yeah.
Help is, I think the first one, the most obvious one, is just do it. A lot of times when people will talk to me or ask about it, they're like, there's no one in my area, it's not worth doing. It's like, we didn't expect all these people to come out. Even if you're just at like university or college, like just make a little game club or just start something small. You don't know, there's probably a lot of people thinking like you. They're like, I wish we had this space, I wish we had it, but no one's stepping up. The other thing too is that, like, don't think that you need to host 100-person like local. It's like anything that happens will be appreciated, and it can grow from there if you want it to grow. Or you could just stay small and be happy with that too.
It's not about the numbers, it's about the attitude to me. No one's expecting a 150-man local. 10 to 15 people, that's great. And when everybody takes ownership of something and everybody has an idea of where they want to take something, that rising tide, that raises all the boats there.
The perseverance is what really keeps the event going. And now we got this bad boy.
And the winner of the best local is, needs no introduction, Tatakai Tuesday.
Did it feel good to be recognized? Of course. Yeah, anything feels good to be recognized. To be able to win something like that is pretty cool because, to be honest with you, running events, there's a lot of thankless work and thankless jobs in the scene.
I don't want to be corny or anything. I'm a very competitive person normally, but for this one event, of course, I'm happy to win. Next year, if this event happens again, I hope we don't win. I hope we are like retired and we can show someone else there. Hopefully you guys can get some more shine next year.
For me, it's about what can we do to create the environment, create it ourselves. The environment that reminds us why we started playing these games in the first place.
I think it's really important for us to have locals.
Super important. Without that, people have like no chance to play in offline. It's more than just fighting games. It's a place where we can put our troubles at the door.
Unlike the online experience, you get to actually meet people in person. You get to make friends.
Since I came here, I was like kind of lost, but now like majority of my friends are from this place specifically.
Why are locals needed by the community? So this is a fighting game question, but this is so much bigger than fighting games. So I don't know if you know what like a third space is. Third space, the idea is that you have your first place, which is home. That's where you spend all your time. Your second place is work or school. That's where you spend the rest of your time. That third place is somewhere outside of those two where you can socialize, you can meet new people. It really kind of affects like who you are. I think a lot of people now are they're on Discord, right? They're just locked in, they're online with their online friends, online community and stuff. And like that's cool, but you need to socialize. You have to go out there, you have to meet people, you have to meet other human beings that are different from you. Not everyone agrees with you. Not everyone is exactly the same person you are. There's a lot of difference that you have to become tolerant and get used to. And you might not know anybody, but you're gonna make friends. You're gonna learn how to make friends. We all like fighting games, but giving them this opportunity to not just play, but develop, grow as a person, grow up, become more mature, I think is something very, very, very crucial.
I think about what my dad always used to tell me when I was younger. He's like, some of the best friends I made in life weren't necessarily my classmates. They were people who I was doing extracurricular activities with. When you're out there, not at home, not in a place of obligation, but out there trying to achieve different goals or trying to get better at something, it creates a platform and a space for personal growth.
All right. So I thought that was a really great video, which got me thinking, especially in this day and age where most of us we're online and we're in Discords and we're not really meeting up, together in a space to kind of, be with each other and things like that. But I wanted to ask the question, is there something missing in the fighting game community? Now, I know they kind of touched on, the locals and things like that, but, it doesn't have to be, about locals, or it can. But I just wanted to ask the question, is there something missing in the fighting game community?
Yeah. And I think that video really kind of hammers home exactly what it is. And it's like, it's the human element, it's heart. It's a real legitimate passion, because everything he was describing is kind of like what I miss in, modern FGC culture. And, my issues with it, part of it is because of how much bigger it's gotten. That may not be the perceived issue that others will see, but the way, just for me personally, I think there is a limit to, well, I don't think it should. I want to make sure I'm framing this properly, because I don't, maybe not, but I do think it's something that maybe kind of got lost during the growth process. And it's not just the community, it's also the games themselves. Like, they've changed in a way that have kind of created this vacuum of genuine interest that we used to have. And that's why I kind of say things like, sometimes, to have games segregated was better, even though, because, fighting games could be a number of different games, but because they've become so homogenized over the years, everyone's kind of just in the same room and no one's really committed to anything. We're all just here. Whereas back then, there was your Street Fighter guys, your Tekken guys. There was a little bit of bleed over, but it wasn't anything like ridiculous like now, where everyone's just waiting for the next game to come out. And we've kind of talked about it before, like the issue we have with some, content creators who are really just kind of pushing for that. Like, oh, just wait for Virtua Fighter because you're not having fun with Tekken. Or, oh, and Street Fighter's trash, go play Fatal Fury, or vice versa. Back then, everyone kind of had their place. And we were all able to do everything. And it was good, so. I think part of it is just what we're missing is a type of control, a type of some borders. I don't know how to describe it, but I hope I'm not making no sense. But
yeah, you making sense. But yeah, I feel the same. There is a human element that has been lost with the online age, and the pandemic didn't help at all. It kind of made us dive deeper into not being around each other. But yeah, man, like I be thinking like now, and like when we play games and things like that, we be in the Discord. We be in the Discord talking. We don't really meet up with each other and play side by side like we used to. And I'm hoping that and something like that doesn't get lost. And I appreciate everybody that's still, you know, doing the work to kind of keep locals alive. So, players can have like well, players, friends, and foes do have a place to kind of come together and play in person.
Yeah, that was
And
good. That was a good way to break it down. Like the third place is where you could, because
yeah,
since we're older, we got a lot of more responsibilities, and
yeah,
I think that's how we justified going to Discord. But it just a part of it is just us. We can blame Discord all we want, but it's convenient, and sometimes convenience kills.
yeah, yeah. I agree. What about you, Cross?
I think that I don't know if it's something that's necessarily missing. Um, well, okay, maybe there's like a few things. So for one, I think that there has to be genuine interest. People who want to play the game. I think that like no matter what game you make, that's gonna be there, but it's just gonna be there in varying degrees. So there has to be good games. It all starts at the game itself. If the game
Mm,
sucks or if the game is not something that people want to play, you're just
true,
not gonna get people to show up for something they don't want to do unless it's
true.
for some other ulterior motive, you know. So there's that. Um, so it has to be a good game. Then once you do have a good game that you want to play, um, I think that Obama and G-Unit kind of spoke on this, but essentially there's this mindset of like if everyone's not doing it, then it's not worth it.
Yeah,
Like people give up their desires and the things that they like to do because everyone else isn't. They get this perception, well, everyone else isn't moving, the majority essentially isn't moving in that direction, so why
mhm,
should I go in that direction?
yeah,
And it's that's just like a loser bitch made way of thinking, I've always thought. Because you don't start anything that way. How are you supposed to start anything good in life if y- um like it hasn't been started yet, essentially is what you're saying. Like, oh, it's not been done yet, so we shouldn't do it. It's like,
yeah,
no, like the things that are good in life, often they started from places where no one was doing it before.
yeah,
So it's like, and so if you have something in your mind that you believe should be done, you should just do it and see what happens. And so and then you can figure out the rest from that point, but they all start small.
yeah,
And Tekken, it wasn't like when we started playing Tekken, it was just this ginormous like juggernaut that it is today, and that's why we got into it. It's
yeah,
like no, we started and because we like playing the game, and then we just found I will say some of it is luck. We just so happen to run into people sometimes that, but the thing is it's not entirely luck. The thing, like, this is the thing about luck is really kind of like preparedness meets opportunity.
yeah,
If I wasn't playing Soul Calibur back in the day and I just wasn't playing fighting games like that at all, when I went to MTech, I wouldn't have seen you guys playing Tekken and Soul Calibur because I wouldn't have noticed it.
yeah,
But because I was very, very, very interested in playing fighting games, I was like, wow, those are people over there playing fighting games like I do. Let me kill them real quick. It's
yeah,
like. And it was more interesting when it's like, okay, well, these guys actually are good at this Tekken game. It's like, wow, okay, that's interesting, you
yeah,
know? So it's like, it's it- you know you don't, it's like Maja said, like you don't know that there may be other people out there just waiting for someone else to just be the
yeah,
guy that sets it up. And I've found that to be true about our local scene here, because a lot of people got into Tekken because I was the guy that would be like, "Hey, look, I'm just gonna sit here and play Tekken, and I don't care what anyone else is
yeah,
playing. I don't care if you're playing Street Fighter. I don't care if you're playing this. I'm playing Tekken." And like, it's not like all of a sudden just because you do that, everyone just turns around and starts playing Tekken. That's not how that works. It's
yeah,
like you do that for a long time, and you're gonna be alone, or maybe you may get one or two other people right? But
Yeah.
then there's gonna come an opportunity where like a game like Tekken 7 comes out, where it's new, it looks really nice. The people who are playing it like me, that they know they can rely on me being there. Like, because they see me there every day playing Tekken. So they can rely on the idea that I at least will be there to play it. Right.
Yeah.
It's like um they're like, okay, well, maybe I'll jump on to Tekken 7. It's new, it's fresh, it looks nice, and blah, blah, blah. Let me
Yeah.
ask him about it. Hey, I kind of want to play it. What's it like? Blah, blah, blah. You know, and that's another thing that's missing, I guess. When that happens, when that opportunity happens, what tends to happen is that the people within the scene are so hungry for new people to join that they're willing to sacrifice the very soul of their game just to get new people.
Yeah.
And you can't do that. It's like
Yeah.
you can't do that because you will spoil the entire opportunity. What you're supposed to do is to show them why the game you're playing right now, not the next game, why
Yeah.
the game you're playing right now is awesome. Because you do not want them to be there because of the social event or the novelty. You want them to be
Yeah.
there for the love of the game. And you can only really truly express that by showing your love of the game. So you can't sacrifice that, because if you do that, then they'll accept that. And then what will happen is that essentially you'll have a bunch of people who do enter the scene, and then but you'll lose your game.
Yeah.
The entire point of you trying to grow it so that you can play your game with more people, right? Well, would you
Yeah.
rather have 100 people that join that truly really like the game, or 10,000 people that are just like bullshitting, like they don't know anything about the game, they don't really necessarily care to learn the game, you can't play with them because they don't play the game well, and the game you like, and the game is not a game you like because it caters to them now because they outnumber you.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. And
so
see,
yeah.
that's how I feel about KOF, man. Like, I swear, like, like in our group, I feel like there's only me and Pivot Ace that are playing like KOF 15 right now. And you know what? We are having a blast.
Yeah.
The two of us playing, and I'll probably play over like after this podcast. But if you love something, man, just play it. Play
Yeah.
your game, and play online. If somebody in your local community wants to play too, hey, get with them. And even if they're sorry, hey, um, you can train with them and build them up. If like kind of like what Cross was saying, if they had the interest and the to grow and be better in the game,
Yeah.
which
So
go ahead.
well, so just to like summarize what I'm trying to say is that first there has to be a game there that people actually want to play. Like, you can't reasonably expect people to spend their time and money to show up to a place to play a game that they don't like,
Yeah,
because then it just turns into a social, they're just going there to hang out with friends, they're not going there to play the game. You know what I mean? Like, hanging out with friends should be a secondary thing to playing the game. It should be like a nice, like it should be the fries that you get with the hamburger. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's like it's not the main thing. You're there to play the game, and the hanging out with friends part is just what makes it awesome. Like, and so that's that. So there has to be a game that's good that you actually want to play, and that is out of our hands. That's out of our control. But what is within our control when it comes to that is accepting reality. Like, if the game is truly a game you don't want to play, you should not force yourself to play it. You should play something else, you know? Um, so that's the first thing. The second thing is that you cannot wait on everyone else. Once you have decided that, hey, this is a game I like this game. If you're going to sit there and wait for everybody else to play the game, then you are actually furthering the destruction of no one playing that game. You
yeah,
have to be that guy first. Like, even though you may not want to, you have to be the guy that says, "Hey, I'm going to turn this game on and I'm going to play some games with people who want to play. I'm going to make a little bit of effort to try and find the other person that's like me who wants to just play the game and just play with them." Like, you know what I mean? And just be content with that for a while. You know, if you truly love the game, that should be enough to, in my opinion, to make you content. Like, if you find just a few people and then deal with that for a while, you know. But it's like, people that, you know, they want these big numbers, in my opinion, a lot of them, because they're not there to actually play the game. They're there to hang out. And that's why I'm saying, like, one is preferred over the other, because some people will, they don't like to rank things in importance of one, two, three, four, five, because it makes it seem like one thing. If something's number two, then in their mind it's
Yeah, it's not good enough.
irrelevant.
Yeah,
Right.
it's not good enough.
And that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that, like, number two is number two. It ain't number 10, it's number two, right? Like, it's important, but it's not as important as the game that we're playing, because if we're just there to hang out, then the game, it can be any game.
Yeah,
And then, but the thing is that then what are we doing? Why do we even need a game? It begs the question, why do we even need a game? Why can't we just all hang out in the club? You know, essentially, you know, it's like, no, the game is what's bringing us here. And so it has to be a game that we really want to invest in and play, you know. And so, yeah, I guess what's missing is just that people aren't really following their true fighting game desires, and instead it's like they're focusing on the social aspect, in my opinion, way too much. And
yeah,
the idea of,
yeah.
like,
Right.
oh well, you know, Discord ruins things. I actually completely disagree with that. I don't think it has anything to do with online, like online being more convenient or anything like that, because we all know the failings of online gaming, no matter
Yeah,
how good the online is. And for us who like play fighting games on, like, when the people I'm talking about, we care about that. It's fucking frustrating, you know, to have to deal with online. So it's like, we could just play offline. Like, why don't we just go play offline? And we all prefer offline. You know, it's just that, um again, it boils down to, well, you know, no one's gonna show up. Well, no one's gonna show up if you don't show up.
yeah,
You know, you have to realize that you're kind of the guy. Like, people depend on you too. So, like, if you don't show up, you can't. How can you expect anyone else to show up?
I agree. I agree. Um, something that Josh was kind of hitting on. I feel like, you know, fighting game spirit, man. Like, I feel like, I know it's something that has to be built up, but it's like we got a lot of people out here who are playing these fighting games, and you know, it's like they have no drive to improve, but they're complaining about the game, and I have an issue with that. But yeah, fighting game spirit, man. Like, I think it's a person's ability to kind of uh, play and enjoy the game and learn at a certain uh,
Uh,
and
uh,
put in a certain like investment into it that is required to get to a certain level. And certain people, they want to like get to a certain level without putting in the work to get to that level. They just want to complain and
I think that correlates with what Tevin was saying about showing up for the social aspect instead of
mm,
the fighting, the game.
yeah, it's like if
You want to
you
be perceived as good without having to be good.
yeah,
And yeah,
it's like you just need that fire, that burn in you to get better at the game. And kind of like crossing, like you were saying, like instead of just showing up, because we got pizza or some shit. It's
yeah.
like,
Or so and so is here.
bro, or so and so is here. It's like I've been to so many locals where I'm looking around, like, bro, why are you here? Like, really? Like, what are you doing? I see you come here every day you sit in the corner, and then you pick up the controller, and we light you up. We light your ass up, and then you get mad at us or the game. Like, dude, you're not training. You're not putting in no work. You have no spirit. You had no spirit or fire to get better in this game. Why are you here? You know. But what are you guys' thoughts on like fighting game spirit? It's either. Well, go ahead. Go ahead.
I think that I think I disagree with you. I don't think fighting game spirit is something that can be. Paul called it the killer instinct. I think that's a better name for it. Well, I remember it was the first time I went to his house because he invited me over to play Tekken, and he
Yeah.
was talking to me about how he was like, a lot of people in this game will never get good at this game because they don't have the killer instinct.
Yeah.
He was like, the killer instinct is the drive to want to destroy your opponent, regardless of their feelings, regardless of anything. You just want to kill them. And if you don't have that, you won't get very far in fighting games
Yeah.
because you won't be able to motivate yourself to do what's necessary to kill them. Because otherwise, why bother?
Yeah.
And he was like, it's something you're born with. It's not something that it can be developed. You either have it or you don't. And I agree with him because the older I've gotten, I have seen people in our community, as time has gone on, where I'm like, man, they played this game a lot, but they have not moved. And
Yeah.
they don't move. Yeah, you could say like their training is not so great, but I don't think a quality of training would make them better because they don't have the like
The desire, the hunger, the
the
want.
the fuck you feeling of I'm going to kill you right
Yeah.
now, even if I have to do this one thing on you 80 times in a row.
Bro.
I'm just gonna kill you. I don't care how cheap it is. It's like they don't have that. Like,
Yeah. It's
and if you
like,
don't
bro.
have that, you're done. Because what
Yeah.
happens when you come across someone who does have that? Like, you're just dead. Like you have
Yeah.
nothing to deal with.
Yeah. Either you got to have that, or you got to just be tired and frustrated and fed up. Like, bro, I am so tired of you doing this shit.
No, because that's not enough. Because if you're just tired and fed up, but you don't have the killer instinct, you'll just quit.
Yeah.
See,
Well,
that's why it
I
didn't
think
even come in your mindset. Because see, quitting didn't even come in your mindset. That wasn't
Yeah.
even something you considered. That's what I'm talking about. They would just quit. They would just say,
Yeah.
fuck it, he's better than me, and that's it.
Yeah. I think it boils down to your motivation. I think
Or lack of thereof.
lack of thereof. But I agree with you 100%.
Hold
I
on,
agree.
I'll be right back. I'm sorry.
Okay, I got you. What about you, Josh? I know you spoke on it. You spoke on it a little bit.
Yeah, I agree with Cross. I think he's right, and like you just kind of have to. The desire has to be there, and not everyone has it. And what the issue we have is that fighting games has opened up for people that just don't belong here, and it's one of those things where because our culture has developed the way it has, you don't want to say that because it sounds mean and ugly or whatever. Insert bitch word here.
They suck.
Yeah, and it's like, but we all know it.
Trash bag, trash juice, garbage juice. I'll say it.
Yeah, and it's like, of course, like it's normal for us to say because it's like, yeah, because that's what it is. Like, we don't have to pretend because we know, and this isn't nothing new. It's just that it's kind of like what I've said in the past, where the normies always outnumber the core members, and whenever that happens, chaos. It redevelops what you're into, and now you're in here with all these people that really don't belong, but because they outnumber you, they get to tell you that you don't belong, and now you have to sit outside and watch it burn to the ground.
You know what, Josh? And that is a great segue into our next topic. Now there's some comments from Chris G on Twitter,
Mm-hmm.
and he was basically reacting to this clip here of this player who was pretty much getting clipped by the same string over and over and over again. And it's hilarious, but Chris G, he says something that we know and we talk about, but let me read it out for our audience so they can kind of know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But this is the clip here where this person, they're getting tagged like over and over again. They're not blocking. They're just pretty much getting swamped, right? So in this, I guess this is the person who's playing that character. And what this person says, this is what I mean when I say I hate playing online, because you run into people that play like this, right? So Chris G actually responded to this. So let me read what he said. So the definition of casual is blaming the other person for not understanding basic gameplay. It's not a bad thing per se, but this is what I am referring to when I say 99% of the entire fighting game player base is this link. I 100 agree with that. Another thing that he said later on, actually earlier before this, he responded to this. No, actually it was late. It was after, really. He says, if you use the word spam when referring to anything related to fighting games, I know you suck. And we really have nothing to talk about. It's a top 3 indicator of lack of skill. Take it out of your vocabulary and open up your mind to understanding. Like this last line, opening up your mind to understanding, is so cold. But a lot of people don't want to open their mind to understanding.
Because it's inconvenient, especially, and I think they've talked about this before in like games, and of course, this is stuff we understand like perfectly because we've been playing this game for like 20 years, and not just this game, but fighting games. Because the thing about what makes fighting games so difficult to get into is that there's no one to blame when the L comes across the screen.
100%.
It's not like a shooting game where you're like, oh man, my teammates didn't do this or I had to carry. It ain't like a sports game where you got your all these other NPCs, they didn't do this or someone got stuck. It's just you, your buttons, and the other guy and his buttons.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's really humbling because, like I think we could all kind of go back to where, right before we decided to get into fighting games proper, where we were we just liked it, but losing was such a humiliating and it just felt so bad. It felt bad when someone did it to you. It was worse when someone did it to you. It was annoying when the computer did it, but when you just knew somebody was just better than you, there's nothing you could do.
I tell you who that person was for me. That was my damn uncle. I had an uncle. His name was Uncle Dave, and Uncle Dave played everything. He wasn't good, but he was good enough to beat you.
Yeah, he was better than you.
Man, he used to make me so mad. I was like, Uncle Dave, I'm finna kick your ass. I'm finna learn this game. And it was back then where like I didn't have no understanding of fighting games, but I just knew once I figure out how to shoot this fireball out, you ain't gonna be able to do nothing. Once I figure out how to do the Sub-Zero freeze, it's over. So there was like a level to where like, okay, I'm finna learn some stuff to take you out. It ain't no top level player stuff or anything like that, but I'm gonna learn something. I'm gonna look at this instruction manual and I'm gonna get you some kind of way.
Yeah. See, for me, it's a little different because like for a little bit, and it was for a short time. It was my older brother. He was better than me at Dead or Alive, but after a short time, I figured out the game well enough to where I just started running through him. Then I got the ego. I was like, man, I'm the best at this game. I never played nobody, but because I beat him, that was justification for me to like tell myself that no one could touch me. And then I met this son of a bitch named Herbert. Yeah. Oh, I can't hear you. I don't know if your mic went out.
Oh, I had myself on mute. Yeah, who is that guy? That Herb guy.
Yeah, this H3, the game character, and my journey with Tekken, and it's always, it's funny because I look back at the memory so fondly, but
that's such a fun time.
Yeah, cause like I was the Dead or Alive guy, so I never really liked Tekken. Tekken 5, I tried it. I was like, yeah, this shit look like some fucking fight on the moon bullshit. Touch you, and then you floated. It's just weird. I didn't like it. I wasn't getting upset that I was losing. I just didn't like the game.
Yeah.
But then Tekken 6 came out, and I tricked myself into thinking that they removed it because of the game. I think it was just because the game looked better. It was prettier. It was on the next generation consoles, and I was like, well, it looks way better than 5, so it's just better, right? And I played with some of the other guys, and since I was already inclined for fighting games, I was, already better than them. So when we're playing Tekken 6, and I was winning all the time. I beat Tyrell, Tyrone, Chris, Darius. These guys, they don't play fighting games, but I was interpreting it as like, man, I'm great. I'm pretty good at this. And now the game is like, it looks cool, so I like Tekken now. Tekken's cool. And then Tyrell was like, hey, man, I got this guy at work. He said he plays Tekken 2. And I was like, oh. And I'll never forget it. I played this guy for the first time, 98-2. We played to 100. And dude, I was so ready to throw this game. I was like, this game is fucking dumb. I thought they took the shit out, and he is doing it so deliberately. It's to the point where it's like, yeah, it never left. I was lied to. I'm over here. First, I was like, I'm gonna play the character I like, Elisa. And of course, just like anyone new getting into Tekken, like who they default to, Eddie Gordo. Start mashing them kick buttons, hoping for the best. Got them 2 raggedy ass wins. I did not feel good at all. What do you want? And it's like, but that, I think back to that every now and again. It's just like, wow, that was the time. That's when I realized that, fighting games are different.
Yeah.
It's that level of humiliation you don't get in other games because ain't nowhere to go. What you gonna blame, the game? The numbers don't lie. It's 98-2.
Yeah, and see, and see, even though that was the score, I could see that there was something in you that was better than like everybody else. I was like, okay, if this guy learns how to play this game, he is going to be a beast. So there's a reason why I asked him, like, hey, you want to learn, because I could see like your trajectory when it came to the fighting games. I was like, this dude
needs a little bit of
yeah. So it was in you already, to me, that you were going to you got that spirit and that fire to like get better and improve. I could see it. It was there. And this is one of those instances where, like, the game does have some cheap stuff in it, but once you open up your mind, once you learn what the game is, and apply yourself, you can overcome it and be better.
And that mindset is, I'd say, it's rare. It's one of the reasons why people, like, I noticed as over time, that people who play fighting games have a better understanding of many things, because the nature of fighting games, to get good at that level, you get an eye for nuance across the board.
Yeah,
that's why back in the day, even though the Tekken guys were always better at other fighting games.
Yeah,
they were never like, because the Street Fighter guys could only play Street Fighter.
Yeah,
but the Tekken guys could play anything. They just chose to play Tekken.
And you know what? Just a little side note. So when I went to go and stay in Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, and I was down there playing with everybody. Anakin, Speed Kicks, Poke Chop, Mike, uh, Turk Easy. There's a lot of people down there playing. But anyway, a lot of people down there that play Tekken could do the same thing. You know, they weren't just Tekken guys. They played Poke Chop. He played Street Fighter. He played Marvel, SNK versus Capcom. I don't know what that is, but like, yeah, a lot of Tekken players play like everything, even Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat 2.
Yeah,
Like,
and
play everything.
and I think it's because at the time back then Tekken was a lot more technical than people gave it credit for because they looked at it the way I did back in the day. It was just like some floaty juggling nonsense. But learning how to play the game, like, dude, there's like you can play this game for 10 years and not know anything.
Yeah.
And it's that type of mindset is what keeps is what makes the iceberg so deep and you want to climb it. It's like, yeah, man, it's just fun. Like, yeah, you get this power with one character and then you get blown up by this other move, and then you realize like this is a whole different category of attacks that I would have never seen unless I played this character.
Yeah. I agree. And I don't know if Cross made it back yet.
No, I did.
Okay. But what are your thoughts on, is it you or is it the game?
I mean, obviously it's a little bit of both. But it's mostly you. Yes, like the game is like the environment.
Yeah.
It's
it's a side note. And for it to be your environment, you have to accept it.
yeah, it's an environment that you
go ahead.
accept it. Yeah. No, that's actually a really good adage to that because I wasn't going to say that, but that's true. Like first of all, it's an environment that you accept because a lot of people don't actually come to grips with that. They'll play a game and then they will say, I don't like this game. But then they'll continue to play in the environment that they are saying, like, I can't do well in. It's like, well,
Tekken
if you
8.
yes, like, yeah, I don't like this environment. Oh my God. It's like, okay, then change it. Like, don't play it. Like, go do something else. But with that being said, the game does matter because that's the rule set that you have to be confined by. And so, yes, like it matters. The game is important, and there are things about a game that can positively and negatively impact you. If you're naturally good at reacting to things, let's say, but the game is not a game that really rewards reactions very well. Sucks to be you.
Yeah.
If you are an execution guy, like you love the execution and you're very good at it, but this game is an easy peasy ass game where your
Yeah.
execution doesn't matter. Sucks to be you. Like, so to say that the game doesn't matter, I think is bullshit. Like, yeah, obviously it matters, but like you said, you choose it, and um, after that point, everything you do is on you. The
Yeah.
character you choose, what the time you put into it, how you utilize that time, all of it is you. And it's like Josh said, like when it comes to the other franchises, other things, there's nothing that humbles you or humiliates you like fighting games do, because every other genre you can escape into something.
Yeah.
If it's single player games, you could just keep it within yourself. You don't have to tell anyone. If it's a multiplayer game, you can, and it's most multiplayer games are team-based
Yeah.
games. You can blame
It's
the
Josh.
team.
What about
It's just-
healers? You
Josh
got healers.
The goddamn Scarlet Witch.
team, the game, it's not. Then you have the element of online these days, so it's like, oh my God, it lagged.
Goddamn Iron Fist. Goddamn Iron Man.
Iron Man. Oh my God,
Shoot.
the chunk. It's like, so it's like with all these other games, there's something to escape into and away from. But in fighting games, there's no escape because one, unless you're playing online. Online does have a legitimate way to escape because it's online. You can always blame online, right? But if you're sitting next to me, what excuse are you going to say? Oh, I hate this game, then why are you playing it with me? Oh, I hate my character, then why'd you pick that character? Oh, you're
I
doing
hate
this
your
cheap.
character.
Yeah, I hate your character. Like your character's cheap, then pick my character.
Yeah.
That there's like literally it's all on you whether you like it or not. And not everyone is um equipped or ready to be equipped to deal with that. It's funny. I had an old job like 3 years or 3 or 4 years ago, something like that. No, probably 2 years ago, something like that. And I remember like I don't like to connect with people at work, but one of the guys who was trying to talk to me, about video games and shit. And he was like, "Oh, what type of video games do you play?" And I was like, I kind of just play fighting games and stuff." And he looked at me and he said, "Fighting games? Like, do you play fighting games, or do you just kind of like play them every once in a while?" I was like, "Nah, I
Yeah.
play them." And he
Yeah.
said, "Yeah, I can't do that because it'll bring a bad person out of me." And I was like,
What?
I turned to him because I thought that was a very interesting answer. And I was like,
Yeah.
"What do you mean by that?" And he was like, "Well, I'm not good at them. And then I just get really, really mad. So I just decided not to play them."
Yeah.
And I was like, "You are more mature than the majority of people I've
Yeah.
ever played with."
That's true.
I was like, "That is the most mature answer I have ever heard of." He was like, "Why, thank you." I was like, and then
Yeah,
that was it.
it really is though. Because
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was. He made a
yeah.
decision. He said, "Oh no, this brings out a side of my character that I really don't want to look at. And so I will make the conscious decision to never do that again." It's like, oh, I
Thank
wish
you.
more people were like you.
Thank you for
Like,
doing that.
you know, so yeah, not everyone is equipped to deal with that or want to become equipped to deal with that. And because it's like looking at the parts of you that are really shitty, that suck. And why would you want to deal with that? Like when someone's beating your ass in a fighting game, they're taking advantage of weaknesses that you have. Who wants to be taken advantage of?
Yeah.
Especially when
That's
they
why
know
people,
exactly what they are and they do it
yes.
intentionally
And
over
they're
and
doing it,
over.
yes, exactly. They're
Yeah.
doing it intentionally. That's why people get salty. That's why
Well,
people
you
get
can't
hurt.
break this throw. I'm gonna do it about 5 times in a row.
Yep, exactly.
That is the environment that we grew up in.
Yeah,
even
'cause-
even like before I even knew how to play fighting games.
Oh yeah.
Uncle Dave would spam moves on me to get me up off the sticks. You know, other people in my family would spam moves to get me up off the sticks. So this is like a basic thing that, like, man, like they gonna do whatever the we at.
And I remember also your friend, I forgot his name, but he's that Craig Marlock player back in Texas.
Oh yeah, J Rail. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I remember, when I was learning to play, he would always beat me. But I was like, this is cool. I can rely on this because as long as I keep losing, I get to keep picking the stage. And I kept picking all the stages.
Yeah.
And he had sent that message. I was like, no. He's like, no
Like,
walls? Question mark. And I think at the time, I think you didn't notice. It's like, hey, man, pick a wall stage. I was like,
yeah, you gotta put yourself in that fire.
now I gotta ain't nowhere to run now. I gotta deal with this wall shit.
And on the lines of what you're saying, it's like evaluating yourself when you're doing things wrong.
It takes a lot of maturity.
You muted, Herbert.
Herb, you muted yourself.
Okay, I don't know what happened there, but yeah, it takes a lot to kind of reflect on yourself and realize what you're doing wrong. It's like an internal reflection. Like to this day, it's hard for me to watch replays of me losing, but it's so essential to me getting better. It's like, oh man, I made so many mistakes. I did this, I did there. it's like then you start beating yourself up because like so many things you did wrong, um, and you know you have to make that conscious effort to fix those things that are wrong too. So
Yeah.
there's a level of accountability is what it is. Like what Chris Cross said, there's nobody else but you. That you have
Yeah.
to decide yourself and say, okay, am I going to make this change or am I not? You know, that's what it boils down to. And you can kind of apply that to not only fighting games, but your life, you know. So
Yeah.
it's hard to do. Oh, accountability.
Yeah. You know, it's one of those things where like, and this is why I like fighting games so much, because I will attribute a lot of my growth to fighting games, because fighting games forces you to, recognize those shortcomings, and playing long enough, you kind of realize like, oh wait, like maybe like, in real life, this is a bad attitude that I have that I noticed that I need to, fix with the way I act around my friends or certain things I say. And if you have some good friends, they would also tell you. It's like, yeah, the same friend, Tevin to be blowing me up in this fighting game. It's like, hey man, look, when you say that shit, it's kind of bitch made, dude. Like, or when you act like this, I don't know you're upset about it, and I'm not gonna pretend like I'm gonna read your mind and figure out what it is. You gotta fucking say something. It's like, yeah, that's correct. That's the right thing to do. And a lot of people, it's an uncomfortable amount of people who just are not. They are not okay with that. They do not like being singled out, even if it's like respectfully off to the side, not in front of everybody. It's just like, how dare you poke at this sensitive issue that I hold dear and try to hide from people. It's like, well, it's one of the things about growing up, and we can tell just culturally, socially, a lot of people are lacking that bad.
Yeah,
Well,
that is
because
true.
like when you have a society that's based on convenience, how far does that convenience stretch?
Ah, that's a good point.
It's like because anything can be made inconvenient if you bring a more convenient option to someone. What used to be convenient? Oh wow, look, this is a 5-minute walk to the corner store. Back in the day when I was a kid and I didn't have a car, that was extremely convenient. Wow, I can just walk right up here to the fucking Circle K and get something to eat. Awesome. But now you get a car and all of a sudden that's inconvenient. That's inconvenient for you to walk 5 minutes to the corner store.
Yeah,
And so
that's a good
like
point.
when it comes to dealing with yourself, I think a lot of the things that when like a lot of the ideas of, hey, we should water this game down, blah blah blah, because it's too hard or blah blah blah. It really ain't that. It really ain't the fact that it's too hard or whatever. It's the dealing with the inconvenience of losing and the effort it takes to prevent it. And so
Yeah.
people
Yeah,
are like, man, dude, like I'm just gonna fight this guy that's been like the classic like explanation whenever there's an old game that gets repopular and people are playing it and people are like, hey, you should play this game. And people say things like, oh, well, I don't want to jump in and then play some guy that's been playing the game for 25 years straight and then I just go in there and die instantly. That doesn't sound like fun to me. It's like,
yeah,
okay, that's not really what you're saying. What you're saying is that when I lose, I don't want to have to climb the ladder, because climbing the ladder, it's a really long ladder. And
yeah,
I don't want to have to climb all the way up there just to taste the sweet taste of victory. It's
yeah.
like, so I instead,
Train, and think. What do you
I
mean
don't
you
want
want
to
me to
do
think?
that.
I
That's
know
why
what
I
to
just want to
research
play
and learn.
I want to play this new game that's extremely watered down because the ladder is shorter
Yeah,
and I can taste victory more often. And then as soon as that game becomes a game where people have figured it out, then I'll drop it. So that's what I'm
yeah.
saying. Like,
So,
you shouldn't care about what casuals think. And when people talk, they talk. Um, so to get back to the idea, if it's you or the game, it's definitely you. And like because fighting games, yeah, they force you to there's this idea in philosophy, not philosophy, but in like psychology called the dark passenger, like the guy inside of you that is evil, like the guy in you that wants to do terrible things to people. Um,
The
but
the
then,
red the red devil on your shoulder.
yeah, yeah, something like that. But I think there's more than just the dark passenger, the guy who wants to, that uses your, let's say, competent forces for evil. There's the incompetent and stupid and lazy passenger too. The side of
Yeah,
you
that's
that
true.
does wrong to yourself because it's more convenient than doing
Yeah,
right. And
Yeah.
fighting games punish you for giving in to that guy.
that is true.
It's like
That's
they
facts.
reveal that guy to you, you know?
Facts.
There's this quote in As a Man Thinketh that says, "The environment doesn't make the man; it reveals him to himself." That's exactly what
Mm.
fighting games are, and in reality, it's true with everything. It's just
Yeah.
that it doesn't bring it to you so obviously, but fighting games bring it to you obviously. You didn't break that throw because you did not practice how to break throws.
Mm.
That's it. It's very clear. And
Yeah.
so that's why I love fighting games, because fighting games, if fighting games were like life, like 100%, it'd be easy to get better.
Mm.
But in life, the lessons aren't so clear cut,
Yeah.
you know?
And I didn't. One thing that I didn't think about, and kind of made me think about, is like how in modern games developers are trying to insert that convenience for players so they don't have to climb that ladder.
Right. Or
I
they
mean, you
make the
still,
ladder shorter.
yeah, you
Yeah.
still have to climb it, but they try to make it convenient for newer players to kind of shortcut their way into, being better.
Right. Yeah.
And it's it's bad for fighting games, in my opinion. Um, and I hate that's the way fighting games are going. Um, as far as just touching on, is it the game aspect?
Right.
Um, like you said, the majority of the time it'll always be you if you choose that game, but still, like there's still the Tekken 8 examples where, like I said, they're changing the game to um, make players stand up to players who are better than them.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It sucks. But did you guys have anything else to say on this topic before I move on, or we move on?
Well, yeah, I think that's pretty much like the long and short of it. You
Yeah.
know, why we like fighting games, and as far as like community, there are aspects about it that could use some changes, could use some like refinement, and I think most of it is just tradition is really important. I kind of realize it's like the whole desire to like change for the sake of change is poisonous.
I agree.
Tradition really kind of holds certain expectations that force you to keep. It's what keeps things pure. It's what keeps things consistently good over a long period of time.
Yeah, and Tekken 8 is all about breaking down tradition.
Yeah,
All about breaking it down.
yeah, because sometimes like change in tradition, like change can be good if it's warranted, but you have to look at the what's the goal, what's the intent,
Yeah,
and you can draw from that whether or not it's good or bad, and clearly we got our answer.
yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. Next topic, we got the Microsoft increasing prices, right? Have you guys heard about this?
Yep.
Yeah, but it's kind of like I don't have anything to say. There's nothing to say about it. It's like, hey, there's two turds now instead of one. Like,
Yeah.
okay, who has an Xbox? Who's buying Xbox games? Who? This doesn't matter.
It's like it's in a vacuum. It's like to the one
Well,
guy who already bought one.
you know what? You guys reminded me that there is a tweet that kind of hits on what you guys are saying, which is here. So let me get this straight. Your console offers essentially no exclusive games you can't get on PC. The console has been outsold by your main competitors by almost 40 million units, which is over double what yours has sold. A lot of your console's exclusives are ended up available on your main competitors anyway. Your console is maybe a smidge more powerful than your main competitors, not enough to actually notice the difference. You raise your price of said console by $100. 5 years into the current generation of console. A bold strategy, Cotton.
Well, this is the thing. They're not competitors. This is kind of like, this go back to this idea that I talked about earlier, where people like to what's the best way I can put this? They can't be stupid and they can't be masterminds at the same time.
Yeah.
People like to I don't like this company, so they're retarded. And look at what your competitors are doing. They're beating you, blah blah blah. These big companies, I think if I were to say something along the lines of they collude against gamers, like they all work together so that they can fuck like us.
Bro, I agree.
Then yeah, so okay, so with that mindset in mind, they're not raising this price. You can't think about it in the idea of like, wow, what the heck, Microsoft, you're totally fucking you already are losing, bro. Like, why are you doing this? It's like, because they're not trying to compete with Sony anymore. This is not the environment that you're in anymore. They're in an environment where essentially one hand washes the other. I'm
Yeah.
going to do this thing, you're going to do it too, and we're all going to rise
Yeah.
together. You
I
know,
always be thinking like, man, maybe like the heads of all these corporations get together like on a Zoom call or some shit, or meet up
of
in a
course.
in a,
Yeah.
in a building or something and talk with each other. Hey, who's gonna raise the prices first? And
Yeah.
Nintendo's like,
I
you
mean,
know what? I'll
they're,
do it. I think
they're,
my fan base is
they're not
stupid.
even secret.
So
No, it's
let
not
me
even
do it
like
first.
it's not even
Yeah.
a secret thing. Bobby Kotick on like Business Insider, when he was the head of Blizzard Activision, he was talking about that on TV.
Really?
Yeah. So it's like gamers don't pay attention to anything.
Yeah.
Like they only pay attention at the level that the mainstream industry wants them to pay attention to, which is on the gamer level.
Yeah.
But they're not paying attention to like what these people do. And so it's like when you look at what they do, it's like really obvious. They haven't been competitive against each other since like the 6th generation. They haven't actually been like, okay, I'm going to be better than you. I'm going to win. Like they haven't had that mindset for a very long time.
Collusion going on.
Well, yeah, but it's like
Colluding.
because they probably looked at other industries that also did the same, and they realized, oh, we could do that too. Because look at like internet service providers in America. They've been doing that for a very long time now.
Yeah.
You know, where essentially they all work together to make sure that, hey, look, there's no competition. You know, if I
Yeah.
raise my prices over here, you can't lower your prices over there.
Yeah.
You know, like because then you're gonna fuck me. So when I raise my price, you raise your price too, so that we'll all win.
Yeah.
You know, because what choice do they fucking have? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like Google, as much as I don't want to give Google any credit because I don't like them at all, and they probably have like an ulterior motive to this, they're the only ones that went in and broke up the ISP stuff because they came in and said, "Nah, we're just gonna have Google Fiber. Nah, they're gonna pay this amount. And what are you gonna do about it? We're Google. We're so powerful. What are you gonna do?"
Yeah.
It's like it actually made them say, "Oh fuck, we gotta add fiber now, and we gotta do like give people gigabit internet now, and we gotta do all this shit." Because
Yeah.
before Google Fiber came in, internet speeds were in a fucking trash can compared to the rest of the world. Like that, the highest
I
thing we were
remember
getting
that.
was 100 megabits per second. Everybody else was on a gigabit, and then Google
Yeah.
came in and said, "All right, Google Fiber, boom, 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 pay $50 for it." All of a sudden, now every other fucking
Yeah.
ISP has fucking laying down fiber optic cable.
That's
Now,
so
all of
true.
a sudden, they got all of the fucking money to revamp the infrastructure
Yeah.
and everything. It's like that's what I'm saying. Like it's the same thing here.
Yeah. It's like
So
I remember
they're not
when
stupid.
yeah, I remember when like a small bag of chips used to cost like what 25 cents, 27 cents with tax. And then like they decided to raise the prices and everything rose. At one time, all the chips prices rose up. I'm like, dang, what is going on? So yeah, it's definitely collusion with these big companies, man.
Yeah, that's why you have to work at a smaller level, because at a smaller level, like, not to get too much into just politics and stuff, but it's like when you have companies at that big a level and they're providing so much service to a country, they have political power whether they want it or not, because they have influence over people. And who do you think wants that influence over people? Well, both politicians and the service providers of whether it be entertainment or more needed things, right? And so like they're going to use their resources to make sure that they don't fall out of power. So it's like you as an individual person, you just don't got the power to stop that. Like, but what you can do is you can go and try to find the things, just like how, like, maybe going to some big grocery store fucking sucks and they sell the worst quality food ever. That doesn't stop you from going to like a farmer's market. That doesn't stop you from going to like someone who like is a butcher and they raise their own meat and they kill it. Like you can go and find the things that are real, but you have to go do it. And so yeah, these companies, they're taking advantage of people who either they don't care about being taken advantage of, or
Yeah.
they I guess they just don't care about being taken advantage of.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't care.
Yeah, you are 100% correct on this. It's like now that you guys have gotten me into like PC gaming, I don't care either.
Yeah, because like
I am going to wait on that sale. I will wait until eternity. I will be bone dry, waiting on them sales with Steve. So
yeah, it's just better. It's more responsible. It's a better use of your time and entertainment. Your entertainment should be entertaining and not an expensive loss. You shouldn't be entertaining yourself at a loss.
Yeah.
And
now, has Sony come out yet and said, okay, we're raising our prices too? Or are they kind of just waiting?
I think they already did. They
already did?
The PlayStation.
Oh, wait, they did. That's right. You're right, they already did. But did they up the controller prices too? I know the console. Yeah, you're right on that one.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where this is just me, speculating.
Well, PlayStation Network went up recently too.
For real?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so passive. Like, so this was like delivered. Nintendo was like, yeah, the games are this, and then here comes Microsoft. The games and the controllers are this. And PlayStation, when they did it, it was like, it's really this new piece of shit console, guys. I mean, it's the console, and then the PSN stuff. It's like, it's all the same. It's whatever.
Yeah.
Because it's just like the way they do it. And of course, when you get into PC, you kind of see the value for what stuff is. You look at the PlayStation and the chips that they use to make that piece of shit. It's like, yeah, this is not worth $700.
Yeah.
It's the brand. It's because it's PlayStation, and people who don't know any better or don't care any better are gonna buy it because they want that pisser upscaler.
Yeah, pisser upscaler.
Yeah, piss all over their games. I'm gonna buy the $10 upgrade version of the game so I can get the pisser quality.
Yeah.
Gaming is so back, guys.
It's so funny, bro.
I swear, and it's like, and this is why I love the PC platform so much, because it's not as good as it used to be, but Horizon Zero Dawn, PlayStation is trying their damnedest to like do that shit on PC. And people were like, look, I already have the best textures, the best performance. I don't need your shitty ass upgrade path on PC for this game. Like,
Yeah.
like what the Helldivers thing, like, yo, we need you to link these games to your to a PSN account for some arbitrary reason that's better. But everyone on PC is like, what's better mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, like thing is that like PC gamers are just more informed and more willing to fight for the quality of their environment because there was a barrier that they had to work to get through before they got it. Most of the time, most people don't just have a computer that was just handed in their lap and then everything just worked. It's like most of the time they had to actually learn something, learn how to build the computer, learn how to configure it, they had to go through these barriers. And then after that, they had to make sure the games work right. They had to do all this stuff. But once they went through it and they were like, oh shit, what I get is 20 times worth of work I put in to do this. They're like, I'll do it all over again. I'll do that work again 2 times, and it takes half the time the next time, and a quarter of the time the next thing. Because you already, oh, I've seen this before. It's just this. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, all right, whatever. It's like you can you know how to figure it out. And so when
I just call you guys.
Look, like, so when Microsoft or something comes along and they're like, hey, yeah, you need to do this. It's like, we know that that's not true. We're like, that's not true. Like, you could just do this, or like, why can't you just do this? Or I don't need to do that. And you want me to sacrifice what? No, I'm good. Nah, I just won't do that. But you won't have this, then I just won't have it. Like, I'll wait for Bill and Ted to make their fucking thing in their basement, and it'll probably be better. So I'm good. And that's why they work so hard to try and capture Steam. They work so hard to try and shut down modding and shit like that, but they can't do it. They can't do it really obviously, because then, like, people are going to, like, what do you call it? Be behind it more. You're going to help it by trying to obviously take it down. So you got to try and like one of the best things. This is the conversation I've been meaning to talk to you about a while, Josh, to bring back up. But like I forgot. I just remembered. You remember like the Xbox One thing that happened, right? Where like everybody, like even console gamers, everybody was like, "This is bullshit, and we're not standing up for this shit."
Yeah.
Well, something similar happened with PC gamers, like I want to say a couple years after that. It was when you remember when Bethesda was trying to do that official mods, like
paid
those
mods.
and
official
everybody,
mods.
like because
so explains, is it like
I'm
where
about
like
to explain it.
Okay, go ahead.
So Skyrim is one of the most modded games ever.
The most modded game.
It probably is the most modded game ever. And like it was like that even like 10 years ago. Like it was the most it's insane the amount of mods. And people would buy the game that weren't even interested in the game because of just the mods. They were like, I don't even like Skyrim, but the mods, I'll just buy it just because it has so many fucking mods. So like they would buy the game. And so they had a really sneaky way of going about doing this. They were like, oh, well, all of these modders are putting in so much hard work and adding so much content to the game, and it's unfair that they're doing all of this work for free. They shouldn't be doing all of this work for free, so we're going to make it to where we're going to create a platform on Steam to where if you want to mod the game, you go through this service and it'll pay the modders. And like, and then that way, like, yeah, you'll have to pay for the mods, yes, but your favorite modders are going to be getting supported. They're going to get a paycheck because it's unfair that we take a little cut out of that, but like and then all of the like the media, like the gaming media and stuff like that, they were pushing this as like a good thing. They were like, oh, this is such an amazing, great thing. Like, I'm so glad that we're going to end this. We're going to end this culture of unappreciated labor from the modding community. And you know what PC gamers said? They were like, you can go fuck yourself. I would just pirate the game. I would just pirate Skyrim and then install the mods I want because we don't like where this. No one had to be explained why it was bad. Everyone got it on the PC gaming community. Got it immediately. They were like, "This is bad,"
That's crazy.
and then people outside hearing it would be like, "Well, why is it bad that modders are getting paid?" I had that argument with one of my game dev friends at the time. I was like, "That's it. That's not the fucking point." I was like, "You're looking at it from this like you're looking at it from the perspective that they want you to look at it from. Of like, oh, they created this like, oh, woe is me, poor modder. You know, oh my God, I'm just fucking him into the ground. It's like, have you actually downloaded a mod for a video game? I was like, have you actually done it? He was like, well, I've done it a couple times. Okay, have you gone to the page for the person that has a mod? Like, well, no, not really. I just download the mod. Okay, most of the time they have a PayPal link that says, hey, if you want to donate to me, you know, you can if you want to. Like, you don't got to. You know, so I'm like, a lot of these people, they got Patreons. Have you gone to the Patreon? And this is back before when everybody used to publicly display how much money they were making on Patreon. Yeah. So I was like, have you actually gone to the Patreon page and see how much money these modders are making? And he was like, no. And I pulled up one, and he was making $2,000 a month. That was back when $2,000 a month was a lot of fucking money.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And so I was like, do you see this? I was like, do you think he needs my money?
He's good.
He's complaining on Kotaku right now. And he was like, well, no, but that's just one. I was like, stop. I've given you an example. You haven't given me shit.
Yeah,
I've given you an example of what I'm trying to fucking tell you right now. What I'm saying is that this is an ulterior motive from the company to get some of that $2,000.
Yeah.
They see that $2,000 right there, and they're trying to take from him. This is flipped. They're saying that we're the ones trying to fuck modders. They're actually the ones trying to fuck the modders, but they need our permission to do it, because if they just do it, they don't actually have the legal, what do you call it? Like, they don't have the legal, not will, but means to like right away to do it, because they are making original content, and they are modifying a game that they already purchased. So they're not it's not like they're like they're making original shit and putting it in the game, you know. So it's like they don't got anything to do, so that they trying to find a way to get in on that $2,000 that this guy's earning every month. They want a portion of that, and you, in the way you thinking, is going to allow this guy to get fucked, and then we all gonna get fucked. It's like, and at the time it was like, oh, it just sounds like you just want stuff for free, you just don't want to pay for it. I'm like, I buy all the motherfucking games I play. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, what? I didn't buy Tekken Tag 2. I didn't buy, like, what did we do? Did I pirated those? It's like, no, I'm trying to fucking show you something. And it was like, it was so fucking frustrating. It was like, dude, you're not listening to me. So, but I didn't have to see that guy, even though he had a PC and, you know, he was developing games on the PC. He was a console gamer. And so I was sitting there thinking, like, wait, why the fuck am I even talking to you? You're like, I'm an idiot. Like, you're not even in the conversation. The people in the conversation are the people at PC Gaming, and they all unanimously agree, like, this is bullshit. And so it failed, and you never heard of it ever fucking again. There are so many evils that have tried to go to PC and try to start some bullshit up, and PC gamers said, fuck that. This is the line. And we ain't going for that. Nah, that's a wrap. And so when I saw that, it was like, wow, it ain't just the platform. It ain't just all this extra shit. It's the community of people who are on PC. They give a fuck about their lawn, dude. They give a fuck about their area, and they don't want it being fucked up. And they understand the power they got. And I realized the more popular that PC gaming gets, the more at risk that is, because you get people who essentially they don't understand that, or they're not willing to fight for it, because by the nature of console people, they don't want to fight for it, because they
think there's nothing they can do.
Not only do they think there's nothing they can do, they like the fact that they think that there's nothing they can do. They don't like the idea of having to stand up.
There's no accountability. There's no responsibility on their part.
Right, exactly. Because if you don't have any fucking freedom, if you say, I don't have any freedom, I'm a slave, then all the fucking responsibility goes on your slave master.
Yeah, it's true.
You say, okay, well, my PlayStation broke. It's Sony's fault.
Yeah.
Okay, it is Sony.
Sony fixed this, man.
Sony
I'll pay
fixed
you
this.
good money.
You know, blah blah blah. PlayStation Network's down. Whoa, fucking Sony, come on, man. But it's like if my game breaks, I got to sit there and figure that shit out. Or if something on my computer doesn't work, I got to figure that shit out. It's like I can't really complain. I got to fucking figure it out. No one's gonna come save me. So the more freedom you have, the more responsibility you have. They don't want to be burdened with the inconvenience of responsibility. So they would rather be a slave. And that's okay if that's the choice you're gonna make, but just don't be on PC. Once you get a PC, there's a mindset change that you need to have. And like I think people will still kind of laugh at this idea, but they really need to understand it. Because it sounds like you're just being an elitist, but it really isn't. Everything will go to shit if you don't change your mindset. You know, if you have a console mindset coming over to a PC when things don't work and you're not willing to fucking do what you need to do to get it done, then you're going to ask some bigger power to do it for you because you're going to want it working. That's true. Then when that happens, they're going to enslave you to get it. They're going to say, well, we'll fix it. But
now you belong to me. Now you're my bitch.
Right.
Because you have to like I decide whether or not you could do this or anymore. Versus like you know, for example, I explained Linux to you when I was switching over to Linux. I already had it in my mind that like if I can't figure this out, it's over. Because I already nuked my Windows install. I was like, I have to figure this out. Otherwise, I ain't playing games.
Yeah, it's over.
And it was a like long, excruciating 3 months. But once it was done, I was like, wow, you know, that feeling you get, that rush of like, I did it. And now I am the owner of privileged knowledge that, and of course, you know, I find it funny because I'm like, when the Windows like thing falls apart, I'm going to be the only one here laughing. I'm like, well, have fun with that because the only people on Windows are going to know how to deal with that, despite the Windows thing happening. Tevin.
Like, it's going to be a small amount.
Yeah, for me, it's kind of like, you know, the way I'm looking at it. It's funny because I was actually looking at some Linux stuff the other day, but the way I'm looking at it is like you're on the boat, you know. Like you're already on the boat, like you know the flood is coming in, and you're like, come on, Tevin, get on the boat. And I'm like, I'll be there in a second.
Yeah, but it's like I'm not worried about. I'm not really worried about you because it's like you know that's like who am I worried about? Because like let's take one of my coworkers for example, because like we talked about it a lot, but you know he's like he doesn't know much about computers or anything. But outside of what I told him, because he was kind of asking me, like, so, he was like, what is this Linux thing, man? Every time I tell you about the new game, like, I'll tell you about Monster Hunter, and you just seem like you like Monster Hunter World and Rise, so what's wrong with WoW? So like, first of all, that game is a piece of shit. It's an unoptimized piece of shit, because like I've been following that game, and I lost interest when Dragon's Dogma 2 came out. Because they're using that engine or whatever that's unoptimized. I really wish I was Unreal trash.
Oh no!
And so the game is like borked on Linux. It's got a silver rating and it doesn't play good no matter how powerful your system is. And it's because of how poorly optimized the game is. It got so much shit relying on generator frames, FSR, DLSS bullshit. And for whatever reason, that's a lot of shit that Linux has to run through a compatibility layer to work, and it just doesn't. It's not well. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll just go with that. Again, I just not gonna play it. I got World and Rise. I'm fine.
Yeah.
And this is like modern Capcom, so that's another reason why I didn't give a fuck about the game. But I'll tell them about it. To me, I'm like, if your game doesn't run on Linux, I don't want it because there's an aspect about that game that is more trouble than it's worth. Whether it's some anti-cheat shit or if it's some bogged up, hardly because people think running stuff on Linux is hard. It's actually easy. It's easier to run stuff on Linux.
I think it's hard because I don't
never done it.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to do it.
Yeah, I know. I had that same conversation. I've never done it, but you know, Josh has done it, and I had the same conversation with someone. I hate having this type of conversation with somebody. It really pisses me off. Where like the guy was complaining about how, oh man, you know, I don't know, like this thing with Windows, blah blah blah. And I was like, well, you know, there's always Linux. And he was like,
Yeah.
but you really can't. There's games that don't work. I said, what games do you play that don't work? And he was like, well, Marvel Rivals. And I was like, it's funny that you would say that. I was like, because that's the one game I know that does work. And he was like, well, no, it really doesn't. And I was like, no, it really does. He was like, no, I don't think you know. I was like, I do know because I have a friend I play with literally like almost every day. He's on Linux and he plays Marvel Rivals. He was like, well, that's not what I've seen. I'm like, well, I'm telling you what I experienced, and that's not true.
So I can see. Well,
and so
that is like irritating argument there.
I'm not having this conversation with you. I know what it is. You don't know. Like, so we're done talking, dude. I'm not talking to you anymore. Like,
yeah,
that's tell you. Like, fuck.
Yeah, when you just got immediate proof that somebody's doing something and somebody just keep telling you like, no.
Well, no.
That's a difficult argument, man.
It's not difficult. It's just a test of patience. Like how long until you like lose your fucking mind.
It's like,
it's
crazy.
How can you be so confident about something that you yourself just said you don't know?
Yeah, that's
like I could have seen if you're like, no, I have Linux, I tried it, it doesn't fucking work. Then I would have been like, that's interesting. I wonder why it doesn't work. I would have just said, let me ask one of my friends. Let me ask that friend why it works for him and not working for you, because maybe shit, I can't argue with that. Like, I don't know why it's not fucking working.
Your driver's updated? What version of Proton are you running? Are you using wine? Like, these are things that matter.
The fact that he was just adamant, even though you just claimed ignorance, was like, we're done talking.
Yeah,
we're not talking about this anymore, dude. Like, I don't want to talk to you. It's like
that is like super, super terrible. But in our next topic, we got Fatal Fury City of the Wolves, $2,500,000.
Oh, never mind.
$2,500,000.
$500, $2 million. Anyway,
$500. Wow.
But yeah, so City of the Wolves, they just announced that they have a new prize pool for the SNK World Championship, and this game here, man, does this excite you guys at all? Nope. I already know the answer, but I'm going to ask anyway.
Yeah. Well, like, no, but not for, I know it's probably different from you guys' no. Like, I just don't care about this type of stuff with anything, you know? Like, it could be VF. Like, the whole, like, oh my God, there's so much money on the line has never been a thing that's, except for Street Fighter 6, because there was a specific thing I wanted to happen, and it happened. I wanted a guy to go in that wasn't sponsored. I was like, I want a guy that's not sponsored. He's just a dude. He comes in, takes the money, and fucks off forever.
Yeah,
I can't believe that happened.
Like, in the darkness, boy.
I couldn't believe what I said came true. I was like, dude, that was sick. And then he was like, yeah, I'm retiring. I'm never going to play fighting games ever again. I was like, this is amazing. Imagine all of those sponsors. They're so sad right now that they didn't get a taste of that $1 million. Yeah. Oh, man, that's sick. But like, but you know, I don't really care about stuff like this.
Yeah.
I'm kind of similar. I'm like, for me, it's to me it's kind of indicative of the issue when it comes to fighting games being like promoted in a way that doesn't really help the community, because it's like, this is a lot of money, and I'm sure most people will look at this and be like, well, that's good, blah blah blah. But on one hand, you know, I don't really care about the games. Let me just get that out the way. I'm frustrated with this game's appeal with the soccer man and the DJ man and the whole Saudi. I feel like this game if this game completely fails in terms of sales, it's still gonna be successful because some nigga with oil money just said so. Which
Yeah.
kind of doesn't really feel authentic. The game looks fine. Like, just, that aside, the game looks good in that sense. Like, it looks like it still seems fun. I just have lost interest.
Yeah.
But
so, well, go ahead. Did you have some more to say?
No, it's just it all just seems dumb.
So, I've been watching a little bit of this game, and I like when I see games that unite players from different games, right? So this happened with like Dragon Ball Fighters. Like when Dragon Ball Fighters came out, everybody united and started playing like Dragon Ball Fighters. You had the Tekken players, the anime players, the Street Fighter players. Everybody was just coming out to woodworks to play Dragon Ball Fighters. And I'm starting to see that with this game. So seeing this prize pool, I'm happy to see that there's something for people to strive to. I'm happy to, like I said, I'm happy to see people playing and enjoying a new fighting game. But everything about this game feels artificial. Kind of touching on what Immortal Afro was saying. Like it seems like somebody just paid for everything to happen with this game. It's like if like you were just touching on, if they didn't have this Saudi money, where would this game be?
Yeah.
Would they be advertising at WrestleMania?
Yeah.
Would they have Ronaldo, Christian soccer player, or Ganucci, the DJ? It's like all of these things feel like somebody paid some money for this stuff to happen.
It's like the opposite of grassroots. Like, because I think the appeal that I had for this game originally was that it kind of had that underdog feel.
Yeah.
And I liked it until all the things that I don't like just kind of appeared.
Yeah, that's literally exactly how I feel. Like when it comes to the gameplay and it comes to like everything else about the game, I really like this game. Like honestly, this probably would be my favorite 2D fighting game out right now. I like it a lot. But what I don't like is what you guys are talking about. Like the essentially like the normie trying to push it into like this artificial normie like space because like you said, it had this like underdog. We're trying to be a real like old school fighting game. We don't care about trying to, appeal to what. Oh, we got to make our games like this or like that. They're just going to make Fatal Fury, Fatal Fury. That's why, like, I was happy that this game played a lot like Mark of the Wolves. I was like, okay, well, yeah, it's Mark of the Wolves too, essentially.
Yeah,
they're not trying to turn it into whatever would be like the game has to be today or whatever. So I was like, this is great. But it was like right at the finish line when all they had to do was release the fucking game. It was like they couldn't. It's like normies can't help but try and turn shit into things that it shouldn't be. Like, okay, well, this gotta be. Look, it gotta be a WrestleMania. Look, it has to be. Look, Ganucci and Soccer Man and this and that, and it's just like it's
yeah, it's like
it's distasteful. It's
yeah,
like, you know what I mean? Because like technically, like I've been thinking about it. It's like I actually still want this game.
yeah,
Because the gameplay and like the way the characters look and like Hotaru, I love the way she plays. It's like most of the things I like about this game, I 100% like. But it's like it feels like it feels like someone is coming along and hijacking something that should be good
I
And
agree.
I hate that feeling because there was a statement that recently the guy, who's the head SNK, and I, whether it's true, whether what he's saying is a lie or it's true, they're both bad.
Yeah.
He's talking about how he's like, oh yeah, no, like we wanted to add, Ronaldo and all those guys in. That was our
Oh,
decision.
bullshit.
Like we thought that it would appeal to a larger audience if we did that. And
Bullshit.
I'm like, you should have just shut up because either one, if you're lying, then it's fuck, like they're making you talk, and now I have less faith that you have control over your company. But
Yeah.
if you're telling the truth, then that means that you think this is a good decision and that you're going to do this again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's worse.
Yeah.
That's worse. Because that means no one is going to fight against that. Because at least maybe if it's like the Saudi guy saying, hey, add this shit in, there could be a response to it. And then you could say, hey, look, man, can we like not do that anymore? Like there could be some voice against it. But it's like, if there's not, then it's just kind of like, it sucks. And I hate I don't have any other word of putting it. The normification of nerd things. I hate
Yeah.
it. It really like angers me because it's like I'm in my little corner over here in my niche. And this is a niche within fighting games. This game is a niche within fighting games.
Yeah.
But I don't want that. I escaped into this thing. Why would I want that to be? I mean, it's like when he's saying like, oh well, yeah, like I wanted to be broadcast to this big audience, blah blah blah. It's like, why? You already have the Saudi oil prince king giving you $1 billion fucking dollars.
Yeah.
So why in the fuck you don't have any issues with? That's why I'm like, I kind of don't believe what you're fucking saying. It's like
Yeah.
I believe that it's the Saudi guy saying that, but regardless, it doesn't actually matter. It doesn't matter. That's the thing. It doesn't matter whether he's saying it or it's not true or whatever. It's like the reality is that like they're taking something that honestly is pure and then they're trying to manipulate it. And
That's a
like,
good word. Manipulated.
yeah, it's like they're trying to manipulate it into something else. And it's like, if it was just something where it's like it got shown at WrestleMania or whatever, I wouldn't have cared. Honestly, that wouldn't have bothered me. But it's like, it's that when it's combined with this, where I'm like, wow, you just completely didn't give a fuck about the interest of the people who are like into these type of games. Because guest characters are already, you've already heard my opinion on how I feel about guest characters, But it's like at least when it's like Chun-Li and Ken, or some shit like that. It's kind of
within the
like,
same
all
niche.
right.
It's like it's fighting games.
Yeah, it's fighting games, and this game is like a Street Fighter-like game, and you're adding in Street Fighter characters. That's why I don't believe what he's saying, because it's like that makes sense. That I can believe that you made that choice. That aligns all of that makes sense that Chun-Li and Ken will be guest characters in this game. It's like,
yeah.
And then like also in that same article, they talked about that, Chun-Li and Ken. And they were saying that originally it was supposed to be Cammy and Ken.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but they said that he had to be talked out of putting Cammy in the game because there were too many blonde characters in the game. So it was like, he's like, we're gonna do Ken because Ken and Terry, but Cammy, we're not gonna do Cammy because we got all these blonde people. Let's just put in Chun-Li instead. And so
okay, I understand. Okay, I understand that. Well, despite the over $2 million prize pool, despite Ronaldo being in the game, despite the DJ being in the game, and despite it being at Royal Rumble and all of these things, Fatal Fury City to Wolves still isn't matching up to the numbers that KOF 15 did on launch. So this is an article with Event Hubs, and it's basically saying that Fatal Fury City to Wolves, like I said, don't even have the numbers that KOF 15 did when it launched on PC. Right. So I wanted to kind of ask you guys, why do you think that is? Why do you think that it's not performing like KOF 15 did when it first initially released? Despite everything, I think this game, City of the Wolves, has had a lot more advertisement than KOF 15 did.
For sure.
It just,
Definitely.
yes, okay. Everybody agree with that? Okay. So this game has had way more advertisement. I would argue way better advertisement.
I don't think KOF 15 really even had any advertisement.
Yeah, now I think
exactly.
about it, it doesn't even seem like, this was like the word used earlier is artificial. And I think that's kind of the reason why.
So right now, the all-time peak for City of the Wolves is 4,592 on Steam. We're not counting consoles or anything. We're just talking about Steam.
Yeah.
Of course, since it's new, this is going to be high. But I'm trying to get the number that they said was the that they had, but the all-time peak for KOF 15 is 8,205. They do compare this game to like Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat and Tekken, but who can really stack up to those?
Yeah, I think
like
that's
really
unfair.
it's like they just way out of their league when you try to match Fatal Fury to those games, because those are really like the big three of fighting games. So of course it's not going to match up to those, but
so if I had to say a reason, I don't. Okay, so yes, like City of the Wolves have far more advertising than KOF 15. I don't even think KOF 15 really had any. But if I had to say the reason why, I think it's because there are a few reasons. One, I do think that the advertising actually hurt them because how they advertised it. I don't think advertising is an automatic benefit. It depends on how you do it, and I think their advertising hurt them. I think that that push at the very end did more damage than it did to help them, because I definitely would have been one of the people that bought the game prior to all of that, but I didn't. So that hurt them. And then secondly, KOF is more known than Fatal Fury. So KOF is going to do better in the beginning than Fatal Fury, because KOF is a Smash Brothers type of game in the sense of that you're going to have all the fan favorites, coming into this game so that everybody can play it. Not everyone knows who, what's the guy's name? Fucking like they don't know the Fatal Fury characters. They don't know. They know the like big ones like Mai, Terry, Rock, Howard. But do they know Marco Rodriguez? Do they know what's the guy's name? The guy who fucking Kevin Ryan. Do they know they don't know these characters?
Kevin
like
Ryan.
Yeah, like
that sounds like a regular dude on the street.
Yeah, I know. So it's like this game, in my opinion, was not going to be some like big ass like exploding type of game. But when you look at those numbers, to me, that's not bad, because if it has an all-time peak already right now, that is half of what KOF 15 had throughout its entire lifespan. What's going to happen when Chun-Li and Ken come out?
Yeah.
Well, like if they play their cards correctly over the span of the over time, it could be pretty good. And honestly, those numbers are good, because it's like it's just the problem I have with like the FGC right now when it comes to like numbers. Like, again, it goes back to what I'm saying. Like that whole like, well, I would play this game, but dead game, no one's playing the game. It's like, is it enough people to where if you get on and you want to find a match, you can play people?
Yeah.
All right. Well, people are playing this game. They're just not playing it at the level that Street Fighter, Tekken, and Mortal Kombat, big games, So like right now, way more people are playing Fatal Fury than VF. So to me, I'm like, okay, well, game's doing pretty well.
Yeah.
So I don't think this is a bad thing, but
Yeah.
it kind of
So-
seems fun like it's a bad thing.
So this article said at launch, KOF 15 managed to cap out at 8,205 concurrent players back in 2022.
Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I think it's kind of like what Taylor said. You know, it's a mixture of this isn't like their big game, but the way they promoted it would lead you to believe that it is, and I think that kind of hurt it because of. And then of course, I really do think the characters, Soccer Man and DJ.
Yeah,
Man,
no, that hurt them.
And but not, you know, not like a lot, but it hurt them enough to where it's kind of like the appeal of the game. You know, just using me, you know, I use myself as an example because originally I was, you know, I like fighting games, and I was like, I'll support this fighting game as a fighting game, and you know, it's a game I have a franchise I haven't played before, and it does play better than KOF to me because like I like the way, you know, like I said, it reminds me of Street Fighter 4, which is my favorite Street Fighter. So if anything, this was, you know, my kind of game, but because of, you know, all this other shit surrounding it, it's just kind of like, well, yeah, this doesn't feel like an underdog game. This feels like a plant.
Well, yeah, but think about the small amount of time it took for you to think that, though. Like everything up to that point, it was fine, and then it was like that's what I'm saying. That final push of marketing, I don't think it was like it damaged them in a small way. I think it damaged them a lot because they became a laughing, and they still are. They became a laughing stock for like that entire point up to their launch.
Yeah,
and that does like negatively affect like, you know, people who want to get into it or not because they get the feeling that other people aren't going to play it, and then, you know, it does all that. So it's like,
yeah,
it just feels, it's like what you guys said, like it's an underdog game. It feel like it shouldn't be getting the attention that it's getting.
Yeah, it's forced.
Like you said, it's like you said, Cross. It's a niche game for niche players, and it's like they're hyping it up like it is Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, they're trying to make it
Tekken, or
like
it
Street
is
Fighter.
Yeah, or
Yeah,
it is
like they're
Street
trying
Fighter.
to like, look, it's
But
just
it's
like Street Fighter. It's like we don't want it to be like Street Fighter. It's like we're here because it isn't Street Fighter, like the current Street Fighter game. You know what I mean? It ain't Street Fighter 6. It's like, come on, man, just like build it up slowly. Like that's I guess that's what's so annoying about like the mainstream like stuff. Whenever they get into something, they can't allow a plant to just grow organically and grow into a nice tree that produces apples forever. They can't do that. They have to like inject it with fucking whatever the fuck bullshit and do this and do that and have it grow right now. Oh, it died real quick, whatever, like grow another fucking genetically enhanced tree. It's like, you know, they can't just let it fucking grow. Just let it grow. Like you did it with KOF 15. KOF 15 did well. You supported it throughout its entire fucking lifespan. People respect KOF 15. It's at tournaments all the time. I don't understand why you can't just fucking do that. And honestly, I think that if given time, Fatal Fury would have become, and it might still become, like bigger than KOF 15. But because they have characters that people really like, you know, like a lot of the characters in KOF 15, they come from Fatal Fury. So it's like, and they understand that. That's why they're not in the game yet. It's like when they're gonna put them in the game, because I saw Blue Mary in Terry's story mode. She looks fucking awesome. I'm like, oh yeah,
she's in the story.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, man. It's like I'm like, oh shit, there's Blue Mary. She looks really fucking cool, you know? Like, so it's like you have all these characters that are cool and people would love to get behind them and stuff. So it's like it definitely can get there. But if you try to like do this, like you have something really real and then you do this artificial push, everyone can see it so obviously because it's not, because the thing you're making is real. You're making this real thing and then you're doing this extremely artificial push. But this is kind of like what I say to that. In a way, it's a blessing, though.
Yeah.
And this is why it's a blessing in a strange way. It can be a blessing. It just depends on how it turns out.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who aren't playing the game simply because of everything that's happening. And so
Yeah.
what's going to happen is that the people who actually want to play the game, those are the only people who are going to be there. And so they might
Yeah.
actually end up having a nice community because of it. They might have a community filled with people who just like, I don't give a fuck about Soccer Man. I don't like him either, but fuck him. Like, I'm just here because I like this game, and this game is sick, and so I don't care. And so it's like they might end up having a fucking good community because of that. And it just depends on how well SNK handles the game itself.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And so like it could actually be good. It's just it just depends.
Yeah. So me personally, I've said this on the show before. I don't think the game is for me, but I can see why people, you know, would like it and everything. But like you said, everything is just so artificial. And I was like, at first I was like, yeah, I don't want to play the game, but if somebody's like, you know, it's over somebody's house or something like that, I'll play. But like you said, after all like the advertisement and the Ganucci guy floating through the air, and I think Ronaldo, his play style is cool, but it's just like you said, there's a lot of fake stuff that you can tell. Oh, they were paid to do this. Or they paid somebody to do this.
Yeah.
It's like nothing was done on the merit of the game alone.
Yeah.
You know.
Even though a lot of it is there, like the game has everything. It looks good, it plays good. It's just, you know, it got soured by all these external factors, which I do hate for the people who worked on it.
Yeah, and I feel like even like the reviews for the game, like the reviews are really high for the game, but I don't, outside of like, you know, maybe the fighting, I don't see why. I don't think as far as a product, it stacks up to, you know, Street Fighter, or it stacks up to Mortal Kombat, or any of the bigger games that are like receiving high, you know, scores. I feel like it's just a fighting game. You know, it's just a fighting game. If I just have to give it a score, maybe a 6 or 7, but this game is getting 8s and 9s and things like that. I'm like, it feels like somebody's paying for all of this stuff.
Yeah.
But this article kind of like says what we've been saying as well. You know, it said perhaps SNK's big marketing pushes have backfired and drove interest down in the cases of the inclusion of Christian and DJ Salvatore being on the main roster, as well as their other strange promotions. That's very true. Let me go down and read some of these comments. Let's see. Who was delusional enough to expect this to sell better than KOF? KOF is SNK's most recognizable fighting game series. Even it couldn't breach 9,000 players.
Yeah, right. That sounds about right.
This is too long to read.
200-word essay, dude. Jesus Christ.
No.
TLDR.
So this says, of course it didn't. Mark of the Wolves released almost 30 years ago. And even then, Fatal Fury had long been eclipsed by KOF. Also, Fatal Fury isn't exactly Street Fighter. 30 years is an entire generation of human beings and then some. This is the first step in rebuilding a franchise. It's the start of a long-term investment.
Agreed.
I agree with that.
Yep, that's exactly how I feel.
I agree with that. Let's see. This is going to be... Yeah, he's pretty much saying the same thing this guy said up here.
I wouldn't say it's Street Fighter V, though. Nah, I don't agree with that. He's saying it's going to be a Street Fighter V scenario where...
Yes, it says it's going to be a Street Fighter V scenario where despite the complaints is going to have a strong return on its investment, especially when SNK has always had a solid international audience and console base. And the game is a fun experience that will expand over the next 3 years.
I just don't feel like comparing it to Street Fighter V is right, because Street Fighter V is the opposite of Fatal Fury on launch.
Yeah.
It's like
it
was a terrible game and everyone hated it, but everyone played it because of obligation, because of the last game. It's like Fatal Fury didn't haven't had a last game in 30 years, and people are saying the game is good. It's just that, you know, there's like some things on top they don't like, you know, the marketing and all that stuff. So it's like opposite.
Yeah.
I don't like this comment. He said that doesn't make sense. The City of the Wolves beta had a higher peak than KOF 15's launch peak. Betas don't count, whoever this is.
Yeah, because they're free and you don't have to buy
Yeah,
it.
agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
You just download it and try it on.
I
want to see what the rest of his reasoning is, though. He says the most concurrent people playing the beta were 9,000 KOF at its highest peak. Okay, then half the people disappeared for the actual launch. You can't blame this on Fatal Fury not being as popular as KOF. Beta had more people playing it. Okay, okay, but that's not a good argument, dude, that you're making. That's actually, you're saying that they tried Fatal Fury for free and decided that KOF 15 was better. And so you can blame that on Fatal Fury, because what else can you fucking blame it on?
Yeah, it's like they tried the game for free and like, nope, I don't want to play it. I don't want to buy it.
Yes, exactly. So, and I can understand that, because honestly, with the beta, the online was shit. Like the matchmaking and shit, it was terrible. So that alone, could do it. So anyway, okay, that was retarded. Anyway, my bad. Sorry, I just wanted to see what the rest of you said.
See, I like KOF in general more than Fatal Fury. I was hoping City of Wolves would play like Garo Mark of the Wolves, and it doesn't. Mine is that I personally don't care for this launch roster. So just like Street Fighter 6, until I get some characters I actually play, I'm going to hold off until then.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
because I don't know. I feel like I would kind of disagree with that. I wonder what he means by doesn't play like Mark of the Wolves. Like, does he just mean that they added in some new mechanics and those new mechanics aren't in Mark of the Wolves? Or is he saying that like old mechanics are in the game? Because they are. Or does he mean character balance? Because like I literally just got done like watching a video of a guy who was breaking down Hotaru from the last game, and City of the Wolves, and I mean, like, he was like, yeah, I can carry over the majority of what I know and how to play this character right into City of the Wolves, but they like changed things like with her, like, because she only had one break in the original in Mark of the Wolves, but now she has like 3. So he was like, yeah, like that was one of my complaints, that she only has this one break and it sucks. But they gave her more breaks in this game, so I can do strats that I've always wanted to do in Mark of the Wolves in this game. So I'm like, so what is he talking about? That's kind of weird to me.
It's been a long time since I played Garo Mark of the Wolves, so I can't really say if it plays like it or not. To be honest, from my perspective, this guy say the only reason stopping this game from dying anytime soon is the 1.5 million prize that pros will not let slide, especially in a game that has no fierce competition like Street Fighter 6. I don't know if I don't agree with that.
Yeah, it's kind of.
I don't think this 1.5 million prize pool is going to keep the game alive, because not even like really who really realistically can win that.
Well, someone has to win it.
It's like, I mean, like within like what is like a 5%.
No, what I'm saying is that, like, okay, so like if you take the mindset that you're having right now, then if no one shows up and I show up, then I win the $1.5 million, right?
Well, what I'm saying is like, or what I meant to say is like, who's really strong enough to really win this?
I feel like a lot of players.
I feel like there's a lot of players, but it's like less than 5%.
But yeah, but that's how every
players
fighting
can can actually win this.
Yeah, but that's what I'm
it-
saying. Like the top level of every fighting game, that's true. Like at the top level of every fighting game.
Yeah, but my point is going to be is like, you know, the pro players don't make majority of the players that are actually going to play this game.
That's true, right?
You know,
Yeah.
So I don't really.
I see what you're saying. You're saying that like just because you make some shit for pros doesn't mean that average people are going to play the game.
Yeah, it's like,
I agree. That's why I don't care about $1 billion prize pool when it comes to any of these fucking games, because I'm like, what does that have to do with me? Like, you know, in the game I'm playing, like, you know, so I agree. I don't think that really matters.
So I'll read this last one and then we'll call it quits. But this says, I feel bad for SNK. All this promotion and money just to barely pass KOF 15, and literally no one shows or knows why. It's so weird. The game is fun as hell. So people are liking this game, but a lot of weird advertisement for sure.
Yeah, it's just weird. Like that advertising push at the end, honestly, I think hurt it way more than helped. And I think that just if they had just kept it about Fatal Fury, about reviving Fatal Fury, about like in terms of like the game, like the character itself, like, you know, like the characters and stuff like that, like stay in, what do you call it? I don't know what you call it, but when you make something fictional, whatever it is, you know what I mean? Stay within like the realm of like fiction. Like, you know what I mean? Like if I'm making the next Dragon Ball Z game, like let's just talk about Dragon Ball Z and keep it about Dragon Ball Z. Like, don't be like, all right, and now we're gonna have Dragon Ball Z at the Olympics. It's like, bro, you're ruining it. Like, you know, like
let's add a guest character, Michael Jackson. And like this Michael Jackson in DMX.
Michael Jackson, Michael Phelps.
Yeah, Michael Phelps. That's a good one. Hey, that's even better. Michael Phelps.
Well, if we're going to be honest, Michael Jackson was in a fighting game back in the day, and no one complained. Everyone liked it. Ready to rumble boxing.
That is true. It's true. Hey, and no lie, that fit. It fit. It worked.
Yeah.
But Ronaldo and Ganucci, Salvatore, I don't think they fit at all.
You can tell that like at least the Salvatore Ganucci guy, he's been trying to do some rehabilitation. You know, he's been trying to be like, hey, look, I'm talking to Maximilian.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I'm doing things like me. And it's just like, okay, you know what? Like, I hate this. I hate it a lot. And I wish that you weren't here. And that's about it, really. Fucking soccer guy, he not doing none of that shit. And so to me, what it looks like is like, okay, well, the soccer guy really doesn't give a fuck about this shit at all. But this random DJ guy, you know,
trying.
He's really trying because he's like, I need this shit. Like, look, this is a promotion. This is gonna help me. So you know what? I'm gonna use this. Like, all right, like, come on, guys. Like, and it's just like
he about to capitalize.
I'm capitalizing on this. But the soccer guy is like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
I don't care.
You know, I was watching a video. I think one of Max's videos, and he was kind of saying that when you put like a regular dude in the game, it's like it don't fit. But like if you put like Conan in and it's Arnold Schwarzenegger, it's different. You know, it's not just Arnold Schwarzenegger the actor, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger as Conan or T-1000. You know, it's like you're not putting the actual person, it's actual like character or thing.
Which I think is fair.
You know, which is fair to do. But when you just put regular man number 1 and regular man number 2, it's like
I think that it's better but it ain't by much.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like
still stupid, but
it's
it's
still
technically passable because they're technically
terrible.
characters.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where it's like just not good because all right, yes, putting in like I don't know, fucking Bill Burr. Yeah, that's fucking stupid. And you should just never, obviously, you should never do that. But if it was, oh, well, we're putting in Walter White from Breaking Bad, to me, that's not that much fucking better. That's like,
Yeah.
okay, well, great. Like,
Yeah.
it's still for the same fucking dumbass reasons of, oh, look, Celebrity Man. I know Celebrity Man. I watched him in a show I like. So he's in this thing now. And it's like, dude, I want complete fiction. I think that there are different levels of fiction. And I think that
got you.
like when you have something like a movie when they're just a movie character, but the character is pretty much known for being the guy, it's like, oh, we're gonna put Neo in from the Matrix. Okay, that's Keanu Reeves. You know, if you put him in a different jacket and give him a gun, you know, he's John Wick. It's like, like, come on, man. Like,
and Max was bringing up a good point to where, like, if you're gonna put a character in the game that has ties to something else, they should just reference that character. They shouldn't be that character. Like martial law. Martial law is Bruce Lee, but you know,
but he's
Fei Long
character.
Yeah, he's the original character.
Yes.
And you know, Fei Long. It's like a lot of characters. Bob is like Sammo Hung, or Lei Wulong is Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
You know,
they
should
could have had a sports ball man. They could have put in Duck King. That, like, these are things that would have been completely fine. But, you know, instead it's like, hey, we're gonna like. That's why I hate guest characters so much. That's why I hate them. To me, they're just they're the epitome of microwave, short-term, stupid thinking. It's just really retarded. And the best thing you can do with guest characters is maybe have some shit where it's like, hey, another fighting game that's similar to our fighting game. We asked them, can we put them in our game? And now they're in. It's like, all right.
Yeah, I agree. There you go. That's y'all favorite. That's who y'all want in the game.
That's him. That's him.
It's just kind of like, you know, whatever.
All right.
It's so normie. It's just for fucking the lowest common denominator, man. It's like,
it's just I'm tired of the shit that I like being sold out to people who I know don't like it. And then, you know, it sucks. It's like, man, dude, like, can I just have something?
Oh yeah, this is tight, dude. I mean, it ain't so bad. Like, just kill it. Just like with Dead Alive, just fucking kill it, dude.
Yeah.
Just let it die.
Well, we are at the end of our show. Before we get out of here, we always try to do, you know, our final thoughts. So, any last words you guys want to say on any topics that we talked about today?
You know, as far as like the whole fighting game thing, I think there's hope for returning. You know, just getting out there, being there physically, and I do think the community is overdue for some pruning, getting the tourists out and getting people who really care about the fighting games in. Stop making it a social aspect, because that's the biggest issue. Like, you know, I used to think we could have both. I mean, maybe we still can, but it's just the right people got to be there.
Yeah,
just can't be anybody.
Yeah. You know, always. Well, I've said on this show, man, I appreciate what Oni Joe does for our community here, and he's fighting a good fight, boy. He is fighting a good fight, and I appreciate everything he does.
I think he, I want to say the same, and I do agree. I just think he should be a little bit more realistic.
Mm-hmm.
he has this mentalities that dooms him to either not being able to grow or because he needs to be able to make something back off of it.
Yeah.
You can't just do it for nothing.
Yeah, your time is definitely worth something. Your time and efforts are definitely worth something. That is true.
Yeah. But that's something else entirely. But what he is doing is good.
Yeah. What about you, Cross?
I think that people, if there's one thing that needs to change just in the fighting game community in general, is, I mean, I've said it already a lot, the idea of dead game. Oh, I'm not going to play this game because it's dead game. Oh, I'm not going to play this game because there's not a lot of people playing it. It's not the most popular game. I only play the most popular game. I feel like just thinking like that in general is retarded. I've always hated it. I always thought it's just a really destructive and poisonous idea. It's not good. I think that it's way better to just say, hey, I like this game, I'm going to play it. Because like there are most of the games that I personally like are not popular. Like I don't like I'm not gonna say I don't like Street Fighter 6, like I hate it or something, but I don't play Street Fighter 6. I don't play Tekken 8. I definitely don't play Mortal Kombat. That's probably the one I actually don't like. I don't play any of the biggest fighting games. I don't even play the ones right underneath those games, like Strive or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I don't play those either. Like the games I play, if I play any games, really, it's like VF and like Soul Calibur 1 sometimes, and like older games. But how's it that despite the fact that these games don't have a ton of players or whatever, I can find matches?
Yeah.
I don't have any trouble playing the game and finding a variety of different players. I'm not playing against the same guy over and over again. I'm finding variety. So how's it that I can find variety and play people and blah 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 blah, but you can't do that with 2,000 concurrent players?
Yeah,
To me, that's weird. Why do you need 10,000 concurrent players? Why do you need 20,000 concurrent players when 2,000 seems to be fine? When I'm working over here with 200 and sometimes 20, so it's like I think it's bullshit. I think it's just another way for people who are not interested in actually playing the game. They try to give out some quote unquote legitimate excuse to not play the game, but it's just bullshit. It's at the end of the day, it's actually just bullshit. So I think that if people are serious, because either they're bullshitting and they're just not going to play, they're not interested in playing games anyway, or they do legitimately feel like that, like they want to play a game, but they're just not playing it because, well, no one's playing Grand Blue, well, no one's playing this, and no one in comparison to whatever biggest game is. And so I just gotta play this game, but I hate Strive so much. I hate this game. Oh, it's such a bitch made way of thinking. I hate it. And so it's like that needs to be destroyed. That mindset, it needs to be shat on and not promoted at all times. If someone's talking like that, it's like you either don't want to play the game or you're a coward. It's like it's one or the other. It has nothing to do with there's no one to play the game, blah 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 blah. Unless you're playing some shit like, man, I really wish I could find some people that would play fucking Karate Champion on the NES. Man, I can't find any players. It's like, all right, whatever. I give it to you for that. But come on, man. Like,
so
get out of here,
man. We've seen the Melee community hold on forever. The Marvel's Capcom 2 community hold on forever. It's like a lot of games that people be saying, a lot of games people be saying be dead, and you look into it, man, these folks are playing hard.
Yeah, why are these old games at Evo now?
Real hard.
Yeah, Marvel 2's at Evo. Fucking Third Strike was at Evo. Or what? These old games? Oh, man, I don't want to play these games and then just get stumped by some guy that's been playing for 20 years. Shut up, dude. Like, it's so much bullshit. Everybody, I wish everyone would just stop bullshitting for once and just say, I don't want to play that shit. I'm kind of interested. Like I feel that way against for some old games that look cool, but I know I'm not gonna ever play them. Like Darkstalk, like Vampire Savior. That's a game that legitimately, when I look at it, I'm like, that looks like some shit I might like. But then I'm like, am I actually gonna play it?
Yeah.
You know, I just don't feel like putting the time into it. But it looks cool. It's like that's it.
Man. Like, these communities are going strong. It's like if you put the time to look, there's Discords, there's Fightcade.
There's too many options. There's
Exactly.
too many options, not enough excuses. But people got time to find excuses.
100%. My final words, man, go out and kind of on the lines of what G Union was saying and Obama, Majid Obama was saying, man, go out and find your friends, get some drinks, get a TV, get your game, your console, sit next to each other, drink. One thing about me, when I'm playing people and I'm winning, I like to see the despair on their face. Look over at them. I want them to see the despair, and then I want them to see the despair on my face when they beat me. I want to have good laughs. The late great Mick, man, like when I used to play him, and he used to kick my ass, but when I get that one win, he'd look at me and say, "You still trash." We laugh, and we keep playing, and we need to keep those times alive, especially if you got just a good group of friends, like I know, like we do, where we just chill. It's cool to be on Discord and things like that, but make sure to get out and meet new people, spend time with your friends, all that good stuff.
I think that'll change pretty soon.
Oh yeah, you're right. It will. But that's all I have. Any plugs before we get out of here?
You can find me on my YouTube and stuff, but until some IRL stuff get wrapped up, it's just gonna be day to day, day by day. But pretty soon the updates on videos down in the works. But be patient with me because we got a lot of stuff happening right now that require my undivided attention. So
I got you. Well, we're looking forward to when you come back and get back on it. You can find me on YouTube at H3 The Game, Twitter H3 The Game. What is the other one? Twitch H3 The Game. And I appreciate everybody that tuned in. This is a really, really fun podcast today. What does it say? Did you find Afro on Marvin Rivals? But yeah, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it, every last one of you guys. Cross Immortal Afro from showing up today. Y'all be easy. Peace. We see you on the next show.
Will do.